How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to week number 3 of SCS. We're here on a Friday, and I am joined by two amazing people here. We got Jazz and Uzu, the dynamic duo, coming in to cast your first series of the night. How we doing, guys?
Beautiful. I mean, Chris, how long has it been? It's been like 2 years?
I don't know.
2 years?
I've only been casting for 2 years, but I think we haven't casted in like all around a year. Last time we saw each other was at SI20.
Wow, that's true. Yeah.
We were cheering for SSG.
We were. That was a great time. That was an awesome time.
Yeah. I wish I could have gone to SI. It looked so fun. I mean, the amount of just insane stuff that happened in gameplay and just the community that was there was huge. So hopefully it comes back in the future.
The energy that was captured by the microphones, like back on the VODs, it's nothing like how it was in the actual arena. It was raging, roaring loud.
How full was it actually? Like how packed?
I think every single seat was filled.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Outside of the ones at like the very top, like in the nosebleeds, everything was filled.
That's nuts. Okay, well, I'm hoping it comes back. I know right now we're having the mini majors, so it's not quite the same experience. But in any case, I'm still glad that we're having some sort of big competition. But I know everyone's itching to get back into the swing of things for sure. But speaking of the swing of things for SCS tonight, we've got a heater of a match coming up first. We've got InControl, who is a very, very dominant team right now, going up against Renascence, who is looking to pick up quite a few rounds here and hopefully take a map away from InControl. They need those points right now for sure. So I know you guys are brand new pretty much to the SCS scene. What do you guys know about these teams, if anything, going forward for tonight?
Heard of InControl in terms of like their CSGO team, I think. Is it CSGO? So I know that they're a decently sized org, which means that, obviously if they're going to pick up this roster, they must have a reason for it. Sure. I do know Exile. That's one player that I remember from like a year and a half ago or something like that. So I have that name on the back of my mind. At least whenever I know Exile does something crazy, I'm just gonna. But like other than that, I know that Renaissance apparently likes to be called Renascence, which is just gonna throw me off so much. I'm looking at you. This team name, it's not cutting it for me. But yeah, I mean
that team actually reminds me. I don't know if you remember Yardy's team way back in the first USN season in 2018.
Which one was it?
Renaissance. It was Yardy's team. They were playing in USN quals.
Was it literally called Renaissance?
Yeah, it was this exact same team, same logo.
Oh.
Yeah, this exact same logo, exact same team name.
Nuts.
Not the exact same like roster. It was like with Yardy and a few other players that I can't remember at the top of my head. But they made it onto the mainstream, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Oh yeah, they did. They played Rise Nation and they got smoked.
Jeez. Well, I mean, I guess the logo's kind of fitting them because I mean, if you look in the background, I know it's really small on the screen right now, but it's kind of like a phoenix coming out, So and the phoenix is
Renaissance is like being born again, and to like put it simply. So,
is that what the word actually means?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a legit word. Yeah, it's like being like you're rising again.
Uzi, you are in like English level like 100 right now. If you're in Skyrim and there was that English tier, you know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you something else too, actually, about tonight. It's kind of funny. InControl is just built different because they're actually playing 2 matches at the exact same time right now. They're playing this one against Renaissance, and they're playing RSA right now against PogChamp. So they've got 2 keyboards, they've got 2 headsets, 2 monitors going, 2 computers, and they're just absolutely going to be trying to gun on this. So hopefully all of your viewers out there have at least both open at the same time just to see what's going on. That'd be pretty funny, But in any case, guys, what do you guys think? I know it's your first time in SCS. Have you guys been looking forward to casting some of these teams? I think this is Jazz, your second time here, but Uzu, it's fun to have you here. So,
yeah, this is my first time here. I've seen a few matches from this league. The production value is just absolutely through the roof. It's ridiculous. Like that immediately caught my attention, and it's part of the reason why I wanted to come cast here, because it's just so professional, really well done. But for as far as this match is going to go, I believe it's going to be with InControl. I just think that they're a more put together unit. I think they were playing in SCL, if I'm not mistaken, as well. They made some roster changes. They brought in Exile in place of God. This team right now is consisting of, we're going to actually look at Renaissance. So it's Nebula, Jig, Smithers, Senpai, Goodnight, and Dunny. Dunny, I've heard of him a little bit. Smithers, I think I've seen him around. Jig, he coached Shook Squad, if I'm not mistaken, and the rest of them, I'm not sure who they are. I know that Doxg was playing for this team in their last matchup, from what I saw, but it looks to be that Doxg is being replaced, but I don't know by who.
Okay, yeah, I know that this roster is still not necessarily new, but what I've been told is that they've been around since like the beginning parts of 2020 in their current iteration. So things have been just sort of changing
A longer
with that
lifespan than
going on.
most T3 teams.
Honestly, true. I mean, we had that big T3 roster shuffle after like last season of ESA and everything sort of ended. Everyone just decided to, up and leave, and now all the rosters changed names and crazy stuff happened there. But I think these teams in SCS right now, with the exception of like maybe one or two, have been pretty consistent with keeping their rosters here. But Renascence is definitely looking to improve some of their ratings from the previous weeks right now, as they are sitting all below that 1.0 threshold. That's considerably the average. So hopefully we'll see some big performances coming out of them. And we're going to go ahead and kick it on over to InControl. Some of these players, I would say all of these players actually, are insane. I mean, these guys are arguably one of the top teams in T3 right now, and that is definitely evidenced here looking at Navozo. He's got the 1.5 player rating, which I believe is currently one of the highest, if not the highest, in the season of all players. That is nuts.
Yeah, Navozo and Exile are their two newest additions. God and I can't remember who else left the team, but for the most part, Bone, Yusuke, and Kojin have been on this roster for a while. I think Jasmine might have more knowledge on this roster.
Exile and Navozo I have heard of before. These are namestay names. So the one thing I can tell you is that these teams are obviously, I think these players are probably more experienced in the realm of T3 Siege. And again, being backed by that org kind of shows not only name value, but also value in general, because they're just, they've got that org behind them, and it just shows that there's confidence in this roster. And I mean, if InControl can have confidence in the roster, I think I can as well. I have again heard of Navozo and Exile, but other than that, this is kind of an unknown to me. I remember Exile. I don't even remember where I met Exile. I think I was casting him before. But another key reason behind like kind of me looking at InControl as kind of the better team is the standings, and the standings do not lie. Renascence are not in a good place right now, having only won a single game, with InControl currently sitting at 3. So I can't really say that Renascence have this one in the bag. I think this is more about getting whatever they can out of InControl, because unfortunately they're in the bottom 3. They're gonna have to make an attempt to claw their way up. Maybe this could be the game, maybe not. I actually don't know the results, so we'll just have to find out as we go on. InControl looking firm in that top 6 spot, and this might just be another sort of pickup in the road as they look for playoff contention.
Yeah. First attempt is really surprising to me that they're all the way at the bottom. Just from what I've seen with some of their results, they look to be like a solid unit, but that clearly isn't the case with their reflection on their game day record. So Synthetic actually got their first win last night in overtime, snagging those 2 points against Hostile Actions. So that was a pretty good win for them last night. I can't remember the player's name. He was playing Maestro. I think it was Eamon. Yeah, that guy went huge last night.
Oh, Eamon is nuts. I mean, Synthetic, that's the thing, is Synthetic's been behind this season, but they actually have really good teammates. I think it's just a matter of working on their cohesion. So I'm expecting to see them come up. And same thing with First Attempt, too. They've been trying really hard. They've been putting in the effort. It's just not been working out. So we'll see what happens with that. But kicking it on over to the predictions, I'm feeling pretty confident about myself right now. I know you guys don't have predictions on the sheet, and I'll ask you a little bit about that in a minute, but I'm actually beating Chief, so I'm calling him out right now, bud. Get with the program, my friend. But in any case, Jazz, Uzu, what do you think about the remainder of these 3 matches this week? We've got Redux versus 303, which is going to be played tomorrow, and then obviously Renascence versus InControl with you guys, and then next up is Emergence versus Lycus later tonight.
Well, I cannot root against my duo. That's just not legal. So
okay.
I definitely do agree with Hourly, and I think I can agree with everyone who's rooting for Lycus right now. No bias here. I'm not even casting that game, so don't call me out for it. I will say it seems like everyone's kind of unified with their thoughts about this game, Renascence specifically, versus InControl, in the fact that literally everybody, except for Blue Panda and apparently Ferme's mom, which I didn't know she made predictions.
Yeah, she's making predictions now, guys.
That's what's up. Listen, you might not get the results, but keep grinding it. You got this. You're a strong, independent woman. I guarantee you'll get one of them right. I don't know about this one though. I'm sorry. I don't know about this one.
Hostile actions right last night, kind of in a way.
Yeah, I mean, she's got the check mark. She's got the verification. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just think that just based off of standings, InControl kind of have this one in the bag. People know this. Obviously, all of our analysts seem to agree, except for Sleepy. But other than that, I mean, it just seems like based off of predictions, based off of what's going on right now on the scoreboard. Not only is this a really important game for InControl because obviously this could elevate them to a new position on the scoreboard, but also it doesn't seem like anyone has any confidence in Renascence, and that's unfortunate. Maybe they'll take a few rounds off, and maybe they'll even take a map. I'm not gonna predict against them because I don't know what can happen.
I think I saw a couple people choose Renascence, but I think it is going to be InControl all the way. It's going to be a 2-0 lights out. Maybe they'll give up 3 rounds, 4 rounds.
Ooh,
per match.
spicy predictions.
Wow,
Man.
that was
Holy.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's more than I'm willing to.
Because I was watching InControl like a couple days ago, and man, they're pretty nasty. There's some nasty kids out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Jazz, Uzu, I hope that you all get to cast a couple of our games. Let me check actually next week what we've got rolling on. So, next week is going to be InControl versus Pride. Oh, that is going to be a nuts game.
I did cast Pride last
aggressive.
time.
Oh.
I did cast Pride yesterday. They are good. Rizzer is nuts.
Oh,
I'm just putting it out there.
Rizzer. That's right.
Rizzer. He is crazy. So I mean, but judging off of what happens here in this game against with InControl, maybe I might come back. This looks like an exciting one. Pick phase. I mean, this is just no surprise at all. Ace is skyrocketing in play because of his new quarantine release. Zofia is meta. I mean, that's just as simple as that. This ban phase really doesn't surprise me. One thing that I think a lot of people can agree on is the inclusion of Sledge being so high up is so interesting because literally seasons before, you would see Sledge be on the bottom, like just never picked whatsoever. His utility didn't matter. Yeah, he had nades, but guess who else did? Buck. With the removal of Bucks and nades, that has changed so much. Sledge has become one of the most versatile operators just because you think about his options. He's got soft breach and he's got nades. And also with the removal of Buck, nades have just become a very important role in general, almost a separate role on its own. And those nade players can really change the way the round is influenced. So I'm really not surprised to see Sledge up there. It's changed.
Yeah, Maverick's another great option for me whenever you do choose to bring nades, but whenever he gets banned, obviously he's not going to be played. I think Maverick's a lot more versatile than Sledge in my opinion, obviously because Maverick's a hard breacher and he can get walls open. He's more essential to the team. With the removal of Bucks nades, I still am struggling to find the reasoning and like the to make it make sense in my head, like why they did it. I understand it's a utility meta, but if they wanted to make Sledge better, I don't know.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
If they just wanted to increase the Sledge's pick rate, I guess that's the reasoning.
I think that's what Ubisoft is honestly doing. I mean, if we look at all the reworks that have been happening recently, especially the controversial Tachanka rework that's coming out, I don't know if I could call it controversial, but in any case, you know, he's one of the least picked operators, and so they hand him a rework. You know, Buck as well is, you know, sort of the replacement for Sledge, and Sledge was getting that low pick rate that you guys were talking about, and so they reworked Buck to increase the pick rate and sort of even things out. So I think Ubisoft is honestly reworking just for the sake of pick rate instead of for the sake of how operators are working in the competitive scene. I don't know. Does that sound accurate to you guys? That's just my take, but
I mean, I could see it. I think that Sledge is like a namestay in Seas. Let me just adjust this a little bit. I think Sledge is like a namestay in Seas. So if you kind of have him at a low pick rate, it's like you're not advertising the hammer or whatever. I don't know what's going on in the Ubisoft studios. Their brains are just in a different place right now. But I mean, I will say this is the wrong timing. I think Buck could have maybe 6 months in the future, whenever this meta is gone and done with because it's so awful. Maybe they could have removed Bucks and nades, but now is like the worst time to do that. But Sledge, I mean, you got your wish. He's like one of the most picked operators in competitive Siege in general now.
Oh yeah, it's been an interesting year for Siege, I'll say that. But in any case, I'm excited to see where we go with our games here. SCS is still going to be providing that awesome gameplay for you guys, no matter what the meta is. And we'll see you guys in a bit, but I'll hand it over to Jazz and Uzu for our first map of the night.
I'm really excited to see this game. I've never casted InControl, and I've never casted Renaissance, but InControl, from what I've heard, these kids are just straight up nasty. They're some wild fraggers and really good players too. Like they have a good heads on their shoulder. Uh, from what I have heard, they also kind of have like some backup IGing like mid map, which is great. Like I think it's from their coach. So if their coach is providing them with feedback after every map, like telling them, hey, this is what you're doing good, this is what you're doing wrong, then they go ahead and they fix that for that second map, which really elevates their gameplay. So InControl is going to get their bans out of the way right now, while Renascence has gone ahead and banned off Ace on Oregon. That's a really good ban, in my opinion, just due to the fact of how powerful Ace can be. He's got smokes, he's got breaches that you can hop through, 2 armor, 2 speed, AK-12, everything that's like necessary to just make him a one-man army, essentially. Thatcher off the board, very common ban on this map. Even after his rework since SI, it just feels like, or not SI, since before Shadow Legacy with the Steel Wave, he only disables things now, but he's still such a powerful operator that he's constantly banned.
I mean, yeah, he can influence around in just a snap of a finger. Well, my gun as well on Oregon. This could be a really powerful ban for either defending team. That's a really tough thing to go around. And I've been seeing a lot of my bans, specifically in this game. I'm pretty sure, or in this league rather. Malusi got as well. I thank you. I do not like Malusi. Both of these operators extremely powerful in their slow down utility right now, and you've basically just completely countered it with the ban of both Wamai and Malusi. I think we're going to get a fast match here between Renascence and InControl, because obviously Malusi's wubs are gone. Wamai's stoppage utility is gone. His shield is gone. That's a very crucial part of his ban, is that his shield is gone. So you're going to have to work around that quite a bit if you're going to go for some sort of hold. Specifically, what I'm thinking of right now is Attic and Bunker, each obviously to their own site.
Yeah, first bomb site for Renascence is going to be down below in the basement. Smithers switching away from a castle into a vigil. I like this pick because if InControl are dependent on their drone game, then it's going to be very tough to find out where that vigil is playing, especially since they're not going to be running an IQ. I would like to see IQ be ran here, especially since both Valkyrie and Vigil are on the board here, but obviously that's not going to be what InControl are going to be running with. They're going to be bringing in the Sledge for nades, Zofia, Ash, and Hibana, to clear out ADSs and stun opponents. And then obviously Nabuz will be on their flank watch. He'll also be bringing in flashes as well. Looking over at the defensive lineup for Renascence, it's a bit unconventional to see a Vigil being ran on a basement defense. Normally, you would see teams try to revolve in a Goyo for those shields, especially since Wamai is not in play here. It just creates more pressure and more denial that comes in with that defender advantage. And it's just more utility to take away from the attacking squad.
I do agree. I think that's one thing that a lot of people love about Goyo is just the fact that he basically has those shields that we mentioned that are just so good, and he has multiple. Albeit they are a little bit more dangerous than a regular shield would be, but given the right utility, if you have perfect ADS placement and great Wamai discs, then it could really help out for you. Smithers immediately, not wasting any time right now, going to be kind of playing to his role right now as that lurking operator. You mentioned obviously the Vigil, very unconventional, so there isn't really much of a strategy around him here. He's just going to be wasting as much time as possible, being a thorn in the side of InControl, because obviously everyone else is going to be downstairs playing their lives. That's how you play basement, is you waste as much time as you possibly can and just play your life, because if you lose lives immediately off the bat on a basement defense, as Exile will take down Nebula. As I say that, your Jaeger's gone and Exile now beginning to push on in, albeit the dangerous angles being set up inside of E-Box. Smoke coming out here from Senpai, the first of many babes. It's going to miss, unfortunately, so maybe he can second guess that one, but it seems like the first gas is going to go on out. A little bit too far to the right, but it should stall out InControl for just a bit. But regardless, they still got their opening pick as Nebula's gone and Bone starting to push down into Pillar. Renascence, whether they know it or not, they're just getting collapsed on right now.
Yeah, Bone trying to pressure into E-Box right now as the Valkyrie will try to reinforce the wall, but Bone, excellent play to come in there and peek away from E-Box, able to take care of Dunny. and he's actually only been down. He hasn't been finished off. It's going to be Dunny that's finally finished off here, but pushing down the tower stairs. Smithers gets 2 before Yusuke is able to trade him off. It's now a 3v2 here for the attacking squad, but both Jig and Senpai are on very, very low HP. One coming in is going to be Yusuke for the double kill. A 1v3 here for Jig on 1 HP. Swinging around the hall is going to be the Nomad, but Navozo will be able to get away just in time. Peeking around, he's going to lose the gunfight as the Valkyrie is prone right on the wash table. And now with 2 members left to go, Jig will need to find these next 2 members, but Exile is ready inside the elbow, and InControl will easily take care of round number 1.
Really good push there from InControl, just taking advantage of the fact that there was nobody sitting on the bottom of pillar stairs. If you're going to have angles looking into E-Box and you don't have control of that bottom tower stairs, then you could really get those angles turned against you. And that's exactly what we saw. The rest of InControl were just able to push on into bunker, only having to worry about the player playing behind the shield all the way over in bunker. And obviously, as I believe it was Jig tried to get the reinforcement off, he was downed. So honestly, just incredibly fast play from InControl ends up working out. They're able to get down the bottom of tower stairs and push themselves into bunker, which you wouldn't really be able to do had you had somebody maybe on pillars and had you had the vigil slowing down InControl just a tad. But unfortunately, none of those things will happen, and it'll be a free round for InControl, who also had really good, are also doing really good when it came to their opening kill. They transitioned it into I believe a 2K. So just in general, really good stuff from InControl, able to take advantage of that one OPK that they got and just turn it into an entire round.
I just noticed that the broadcast brought up a tweet from Chief like a few minutes ago saying, "Give M870 ACOG." This league is just something else, man. The production value is through the roof for this one. I'm absolutely blown away.
I like it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Insane.
I don't know why you'd feature such a dumb take, but you know what? It at least shows off, you know.
Yeah, if it shot slugs, like
that would be interesting.
Like the Boshi, or the, what is it, the AA12? I can't remember the name. The ACS 12.
Yeah, it's
from
like
Maestro and Alibi. Imagine if that one. Oh my god, that would be insane. But round number 2, again, same exact strategy from Renascence here. Navozo this time around is going to be repelled on T3. Looks to be that InControl are going to be taking control of T3 and pushing down tower here as well. Standard push here from InControl, making sure that Freezer is going to be in their corner. Bone's going to be right outside of T1, making sure to cut off any kind of rotates coming out. But Smithers is going to go ahead and pop out the attic hatch and go for a pre-fire through on over to T1. But one thing I noticed is that he's on a solo roam up here, and I'm not so sure if that's intentional. I think they swapped Nebula down into Pillar this time around. And they've also swapped in a shield as well to help to assist him. And right now, someone inside of E-Box is going to peek very aggressively. I'm not so sure why they're needing to peek that, but it's going to be some toxic babes coming out from Senpai, and he'll only have 1 left with a minute 40 to remain. I don't think it's going to be necessary inside throughout the remainder of that round. It's more so, I guess he's trying to keep control of elbow. A very great shot to come through from the Vigil of Smithers here, taking care of Navozo. So 1 member off the board. Navozo, I'm pretty sure he already used all of his air jabs, so his job was already done. He was just going to be on the flank watching, but that's already been taken care of by Smithers. Great shot from him. And now we've got a minute 20 left to go as Nebula will fall here. A frag need to come out from Exile.
Same strat being run by Renascence, but a little bit more resistance on the utility side of things. Is completely cleared out is going to be that shield, and once again pushing into bunker is going to be Smithers now as he takes down a second kill. This time around it wasn't Jig to go down. As a matter of fact, it was the Smokes to go completely dead. So unfortunately it's going to be, actually I was going to say 3-3, but Dunny's going to be able to just swing and take Exile down. Now Bone and Kojin are the last 2 remaining, and that turned around really quickly. Honestly, Renascence just got extremely aggressive, and InControl weren't able to respond to that. Very aggressive game so far. I think it's who can outaggress the other, as Jig going to be put on very low HP. Last concussion used by Bone as he pushes down. He's got somebody playing in Freezer that could shoot him right now. That's Jig. He just has to gamble right now and peek the right angle. Smithers peeking down the hallway. He'll take a little bit of damage and call out the fact that Bone is pushing through that hall. Now, Dunny takes down Bone, and now it's all up to Kojin. Really good crossfires being held by Renascence. All they need to do is just not give up any freebies. Just let InControl waste their time. Let Kojin waste his time and hold these crossfires down as 15 seconds remain. Dunny will whip out the shotgun and take down Kojin. And Renascence, absolutely excellent stuff there. Amazing crossfires, just able to keep InControl at bay. round number 2 going to go to them. They'll trade 1-1.
Second baseman defense works out in favor of Renascence there. I think it's all in part to Smithers getting that opening pick onto the Nomad. That's your flank watch down, and it allowed for Smithers to rotate back to site through the main stairs down Laundry and help out his team for the remainder of that round. And one thing that I've slowly come to realize when casting in this meta is that if you're on defense and you get the opening pick, you're set for pretty much the rest of the round, unless you're over peaking and giving up your life, or if the attacking squad just somehow is just able to hit these incredible, crazy shots. But one thing I did notice, like as far as with the attacking squad, they're always going to be in a 4v5 no matter what at the start of the round, because whoever's carrying that diffuser, the moment they start to plant down that diffuser, they're no longer available to defend themselves. They're a free pick. So as the defense here for Renascence, your main goal is to not get picked off early, and instead to get that early pick in your team's favor. So hopefully they can continue to do that trend as we saw in round number 2. This is a bit of an interesting strat to come out here. They're placing a shield inside a trophy, and they've also shotgunned open a part of the attic wall to look from attic into master. I'm curious to see how this strategy is going to work in their favor, and that's a very questionable mirror, because anyone can just repel on the games window, what used to be called gen window, and just dispatch of any player that's there. But unless they're using it for cover, which doesn't make sense, because whoever's repelled on that window can still see through. We'll have to see how that mirror is going to get played out here from Renascence. And I'm actually curious to see how InControl are going to take their attack here on this first attempt to attack the upstairs bomb site instead of dorms.
Very interesting mirrors coming on out from Renaissance, well, however they want to say it. I don't know.
I think it's Renaissance. I think that's how you spell it, but they're just weird with Renaissance.
Yeah, it's Renaissance. Like, not Renaissance. That's not how you pronounce it.
Is this Assassin's Creed 2?
I was told that my parents will be murdered if I didn't say Renaissance, so that's my issue. Yeah.
Interesting.
I kind of had to say Renaissance. I'm gonna say Renaissance.
I was thought I would receive your head, but I don't know.
My head?
Yeah.
Oh, sheesh. That's not what I was expecting. Dunny almost getting his head taken off. One thing that I was going to jump into, as it's literally playing out right now, the new thing about this bomb site is that there's so much pressure points that you can apply as an attacker. There's so many different angles that you can open up that just makes it so uncomfortable for the defense. So placing these really bold mirrors can really go two ways more than one. So I'm not so sure about this. I mean, you can already see that one of them has almost been completely nullified, and no one's actually pushing into the master window. Trading shots right now is going to be Dunny and Exile, but no deaths so far. Time has been wasted, however. Eventually, is that Yakuza? Yasuke? You're a weeb. You know,
I think it's Yusuke.
What it is. Yusuke? All right, we'll say Yusuke.
Yeah, I think the X is a U.
I see. Yusuke and Exile are eventually going to have to start pushing their way up. Bone going to get an opening frag here onto Smithers as Yusuke also takes down Jig. I was going to talk about life retention and how keeping yourself alive is one of the most important skills in this game that a lot of teams tend to overlook, as Dunny just swings onto Yusuke, and Senpai is being burned alive and just going to accept his fate, as it's going to be the utility to really hammer away at the InControl attack. As Renascence are left one more player. That's Nebula, as everyone just collapses on top of this Mira. Who's going to find the final kill is basically the question right now, as this setup has just gone completely the opposite direction, and that's just not the way to do it. That shotgun does not reach like that. Navoza is going to clean this up, and InControl, off of a very interesting strategy from the defense, will take round number 3.
Yeah, that strat just... No, that needs to be cut out. I don't know. I know that Jig used to be the coach for Schick Squad, and he came up with this strategy. That needs to be cut out immediately, in my opinion. I don't know. You know, Schick Squad did end up in 5th place in Challenge League Season 11, so can't knock him. You know, he finished middle of the pack. But if that is a strategy that he came up with, that's a bit of a yikes. That's not a good strat at all. That's something I would expect from maybe like a newly formed T3 team who has some idea of comp, but not from a former Challenge League coach, if that is his strategy indeed. But either way, we will see a blitz get 6 picked over from a buck into a buck, excuse me. Heading back upstairs, as the trend has been so far in this matchup, it has been lose one, win one, lose one. So hopefully, for Renaissance's sake, the trend continues and they win this bomb site, and then they can head to the basement yet again, which is the only site that they've been able to win so far. InControl, I like their strategy, the way that they attacked this bomb site previously. They bucked below from kitchen, creating rotate holes and pressure holds, so that way anyone that's caught rotating in between that median there between dorms and games will get caught off guard, which is what we saw from the mirror. Unfortunately, it didn't result in a frag, but it did result in a lot of damage being dealt to the mirror in that previous round. So I really like the setup that InControl has had so far. They look like they've had a good head on their shoulders. They're playing very together, very coordinated, making sure that every corner is checked, everything on their checklist is done and cleared, so that way they can go in for their execute. There's no C4 being played down below. There's no roamer going in for a late flank. Everything's just in their favor, at least in that previous round. But here in this round, it appears that the Jaeger is going to be caught inside of dining, and he's just going to be trying to waste time, seeing if he can fight for a pick, but he's going to get constantly droned here. He's going to go for a wide swing now inside of elbow of showers, trying to still pressure into 4 members of InControl. I don't know if this is a smart move from Smithers, but he's got 4 picks so far. He's going to be going up against Yusuke here. He's trying to fight him inside of showers, but I think Yusuke is aware of the Jaeger sitting inside of showers. Here will light him up, and they'll both lose a little bit of HP. Yusuke coming out on the losing end of that. But now Smithers is going to be fighting for his life inside his showers. He doesn't need to be peeking out so aggressively here. If he does have help, he needs it immediately. By the way, Cody is going to go ahead and put him down, laying to bed, and that'll be it for Smithers there at the rest of this round.
I did like how they tried to establish the crossfire there, but Smithers really did kind of put himself in a situation where he was only trading his life. I mean, that room just sitting in there and just waiting to die. He had Kojin on him through the window, and then he had people pushing into the hall. I mean, that was just not... He knew what he was doing, I think. I think he understood that that was his fate. He was trapped in there forever, and that was just going to be it. Dunny getting aggressive onto Navozo as he's going to find another that's going to be exiled to go down, and no pressure from underneath is going to be had by InControl as they've lost 2 lives now, and mainly their Buck, somebody that has been so influential, and Jig, not droned at all, playing top freezer stairs, will catch out Yusuke. It's all up to Bone and Kojin. They had a good opening kill, but honestly, InControl just did not expect any of Renaissance's aggressiveness coming not only through not only through Dunny from the hatch, but also from Jig playing top freezer. Excellent stuff there from Renaissance. While they were getting really aggressive and playing their lives very, very, basically the opposite of careful, it still works out as they get 3 picks. Now InControl are going to have to manage with 2 players left, and they don't look as powerful. They've been stalling out a lot, something that they don't seem to do a lot. It seems like their time management is usually through the roof, excellent on the charts, but unfortunately they can't do much with only 1 player now as Nebula takes down Bone. It's all up to Kojin in a 1 versus 4. Gas grenade ripped here from Senpai just to waste time, and I think this round is just about wraps here as Kojin is trying to keep his stats alive more than himself, and that's about it. Really good hold there from Renascence. Obviously, really good stuff from them. It's going to be a swing here from Dunny. He wants his 4K so badly, just looking for anything he possibly can. Could be a run out. Could get a little bit too aggressive. Let's see what Dunny goes for. It is going to be the run out. Cannot get the 4K, and that's just very unfortunate there. Padding the stats as Kojin. Really good stuff from Renascence. Really aggressive, I will say, though. That's a little bit dangerous. We talked about how Renascence kind of needed to slow down and kind of just allow InControl to waste time, but unfortunately that's not what happened. They just got aggressive and it ended up working out.
Yeah, so round number 5 here, trend obviously continues. They're going to go back downstairs as I expected into laundry and basement. Vigil going to come out yet again. Same exact lineup to come out here for Renaissance outside of the Valkyrie, which is not going to be with Dunny. Instead, he's going to be on the mute this time around, trying to see if they can deny some of that drone game that's coming out from InControl. So that's a good adaptation to come out here from Renaissance. The K is also going to be around 4 breach now as well to zap out any kind of hard breach utility that's going to be coming out from Kojin. I just noticed that last round they didn't even really take a hard breacher. Ace was banned, and they didn't bring a Hibana or a Thermite, and Maverick wasn't being used. I don't think. So that was a bit weird for me. their strategy looked to be that they wanted to go for a big window take and just ignore Master and Attic altogether and just try to create pressure from down below, flush out the defenders, and get their picks from big window and gen window that way, and even possibly down below inside a kitchen if they could. However, in this round here, this will be the third time Renascence is going to be defending the basement, and they've won one lot. They've lost one, won one in that exact order. Round one was won. Round two was round one was lost. Round two was won. It's been an even game so far. Renascence is putting up a better fight than I was expecting. So far, Senpai has had no impact on this match whatsoever, but he's been denying pressure with those toxic baits, creating pressure onto the attackers with those canisters. And InControl, they've looked pretty solid throughout the most part here. Navozo's only got one pick, but he hasn't really been able to see a whole lot of action. He's either been shot in the back or just straight up lost a one, if I'm not mistaken. Jig right now is trying to place that Electro Claw in a position to where it can't get Cali'd away, so to speak, or Mav'd away. Or obviously there's no Maverick being brought here, which is a bit interesting in my opinion. I would like to see more Maverick play come out here, possibly trade off. Well, I don't even know who you could trade off. Maybe trade off your Ash or your Zofia, because I would honestly say the Zofia, because Ash has a bit more utility to work with, and especially since you've already banned out the Wamaya, there's no shield that's needed to be taken care of outside of Smoke Shield sitting inside of Elbow. So maybe that's something that InControl possibly could reutilize inside of their attacking lineup. But I think that's the angle that InControl is actually using to stop the wall from being reinforced the past two times we've gone down here.
That is a really dirty angle. There's not really much you can do against that. Can it actually peek over the shelf? I think it's literally just Yusuke just swinging on over. Yep, well, there it is. Yusuke's going to take down Dunny, a very powerful player from last round, and you've lost SMG-11, and most importantly, you've lost the C4, and you've also lost control of bottom tower. This is a problem that Renascence have run into before. Let's see if they can kind of adapt around it. Smithers is going to rotate out as the wall is collapsing on top of him, and Jig is also in a very unsafe position. Now that that wall is completely open, there's no reinforcing that. That's a hole. I mean, you can't really do much about that, and you forced Renascence in a position where they might just have to basically be trapped right now. Uzumaki's dog popping off as well. Really good stuff from him. I'm liking that. Yusuke literally trying to clear Jig out with explosions, but he's holding firm. Honestly, if he's able to stay alive in this position, it could do wonders, but he is getting a little bit aggressive. InControl looking to get inside now. Shots are fired. Nebula's pushing up. He could be a really powerful linchpin here for his team if he gets a kill, but no, he doesn't. Bone instead goes for the kill, and Kojin gonna start to get the plant down safe from Jig's angle, from what I believe. He'll force off of it. Senpai with a shotgun, and Smithers starting to retake the site as Exile takes down Jig. It's a 2 versus 3 now. You've lost the freezer control, so now it's got all down to 2 players sitting inside a site. They're literally going to have to force a retake through InControl's angles, and they cannot do it as Bone and Exile each find their second kill each. And InControl will take round number 5. Beautiful attack from them, taking so much early control and driving that momentum right into the heart of Renaissance's defense. Beautiful stuff from them.
Very, very aggressive plays coming out from InControl, and they made them when they needed to. They tried going for a plan, they got denied, and then when they needed to get aggressive, they collapsed on that aggression, used it in their favor, and just outgunned everyone that they ran into. Great control and great execute to come out there from InControl, especially after the first execute didn't work. Then they tried a second time, then a third time. Finally, the third attempt worked right there in that round, and it eventually works and falls in their favor. Everything just falling into InControl's lap there at the end. Exile getting very aggressive with the SMG-11 on the sledge. Whoever that was, I think it was the smoke, they just had no chance to react. It was already around the corner pre-firing. There's a ghost, and there's just bullet tracers zooming around the corner. There's nothing that you can do in that situation. But
Exile
overall,
was really having none of it.
Yeah, Exile was putting, I'm pretty sure it was Senpai into exile for the remainder of that round. But yeah, so the trend here has been, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. So hopefully for Renascence, this is that trend continues for them. That's been the theme of this first half so far for Renascence. This will be the 4th time they're going down to this bomb site, so this is going to be their most played site. Interestingly enough. I'm surprised they wouldn't try to go upstairs again, or maybe try something different with kitchen. Maybe they don't feel comfortable as they do down here on the basement. And in my honest opinion, from what I've just from like a layout standpoint, this bomb site should favor defenders the most, especially just because of the fact that there's not a whole lot of vertical gameplay to be utilized. There's a lot of horizontal and diagonal gameplay, especially from the pillar stairs and from the tower stairs that you have going down. And there's, from what I've seen from InControl, there is no freezer push whatsoever. They all push in from blue, and then they push down tower, and that's it. That's their entire push. They don't push freezer at all. They don't push main at all. They just push blue and freezer, and they just collapse on everyone in the bomb site. And this could be really, really bad for Navozo, and he just gets absolutely slaughtered here. Smithers on a tear. He's going to get the opening pick in the first round and down. That's a really huge pick because Navozo wasn't able to utilize any of his air jabs.
Yeah, no flank watch. It's all going to have to be down to players. Senpai immediately forced out right now. InControl are literally just going to do this one soft and hard at the same time. I mean, right now, the one thing that I was kind of pointing at, the reason why I feel like InControl are winning a lot of these rounds is that tower stairs control. It seems like they're relying a lot on Smithers to kind of hold them off at bay, kind of hold that entire attack or hold that entire defense down. But unfortunately, it doesn't really work like that. Smithers is very late to the party usually. It usually comes down to him flanking. He's not able to apply active pressure. Exile going to take down Dunny, and Senpai missed the smoke. Going to get that reinforcement off. For the first time ever, that reinforcement will be successful for the defenders, as it will slow down Yusuke, Kojin, and Exile all at the same time. Bone once again taking control of pillars of the pillar, and honestly, it looks like just business as usual for InControl. They've got so much control right now. The only issue that they have kind of is that wall in bunker. It might not even look like they're going to open it. They might just create a sightline to try and challenge the angle that Jig is holding, most likely. So let's see what happens here. 55 seconds remaining, and Smithers is on the flank. Like you said, taking down Navozo. Bone is going to have to shift his gun over to that stairwell. He cannot rely on air jabs to do the job for him.
Nate getting prepped, and this should be an easy pick to come around, but it's going to do a lot of damage to Senpai, but won't be enough to take him down for the remainder of the round. Less than 40 seconds remain in this round, and you still have Smithers trying to go for a flank down the tower stairs. Yusuke barely going to miss the head of Nebula, who's still on full HP, sitting inside of the freezer, trying to look over into elbow. But now Yusuke's trying to cover inside of sight. The plant's starting to go down. Yusuke's awaiting this push to come in as Exile finds Jig 2v4 here, and the Jaeger's going to get taken down immediately by Exile. Triple kill for the Maverick, and all of a sudden it's all on Smithers, who's rotated away from tower down the main stairs. 35 seconds to go. He'll be shot down to 1 HP. It's a 4v1. He can't do anything here as Kojin's able to shut him down, and InControl are in absolute control here on attack.
Beautiful stuff from them. I mean, you could see their pushes are working out so well, and that is such a good half from them. InControl, beautiful stuff. It's Oregon. Can we forget it's Oregon? You have Clubhouse coming up next, and if you see InControl dominate Oregon attack like that, that is really scary. Unfortunately, I didn't really like the setups that Renascence were running, Renascence, whatever you want to call them. They didn't seem like they adapted a lot. I think the one adaptation that they made that I really liked a lot was actually opening up the kids hatch. I believe it was round number 3 whenever they did, or round number 4. It was something like that to challenge InControl's underneath control.
Oh, that was round number 2,
adaptation was it 2? Okay, yeah. Well, that worked out so beautifully. The adaptation was so nice, but we didn't really see much after that. It was either, do we want to do default? Do we want to reinforce bunker wall? And none of it ended up mattering. The same angles were opened up by a Maverick, even if they didn't exist before, and they didn't really change positioning a lot. In general, InControl were able to read them like a book and understand exactly what they were doing and go for the exact same push, and it worked out so many times. Their weakness to their failure to kind of control themselves in that bottom bomb site really costed them that half, and now InControl have the quote-unquote more favorable half. They've also whipped out the mirror, so that means some interesting strats. Let's delve into them. Let's see what they do as they look to run up hap number 2 of map number 1 of Oregon.
Yeah, this is not looking good at all for Renascence. I think they were just trying to force their strat to work rather than adapting to their opponent, which usually comes with the experience. But from what I've seen so far here from Renascence is that they don't necessarily have much experience or at least comfortability with each other. They're just trying to force their strat to make it work. This mirror coming out here from InControl, I really like it. It forces the attack to try to shift shift away from blue because they don't want to lose their lives here trying to peek a Kaid here. It's just so tough to get rid of this player inside of E-Box without getting that hatch open. And I'm not so sure if no, he actually has he has the last electric claw in his pocket. He hasn't put it up above him. The Maverick is being run here by Jig, so it would be redundant either way for him to put it on that hatch. Bone will get compromised here sitting inside of I don't even know what to call that. I guess that's like right by the E-Box wall. But Bone is just getting compromised over and over again. There's two members on the tower stairs. You have one sitting right outside of blue, and Bone's going to have to win this one here. For right now, Senpai looks to be that he's peeking over into Nivozo, who seems to be on the pillar. And right now, Kojin's just trying to keep an eye inside of the E-Box hatch, seeing if he can fight for a pick here on Jig, who's close to exposing his head there.
I do like the time stall that both the mirror window and the Kaid are bringing with their utility. You can see Renascence have not gotten themselves inside the first floor in any capacity. That mirror window is holding them off, and there's nobody even on it. Hatch will explode now, and that might make Renascence feel a little bit more comfortable, but that certainly won't. Yusuke, I'm gonna mess that up so many times. I'm sorry, I'm not a weeb. Yusuke getting the opening frag here onto Senpai. I mean, you might relate. I can't. As Bone.
It's Uzumaki, of course.
Beautiful shot there from Bonus. He also finds a kill here, and Renascence already starting to fall apart as Dunny. He's going to challenge the same angle that his teammates lost twice before and make it a third time as Nivozo takes down Dunny. It's going to be a 2 versus 5. Nebula and Jig just completely split up from each other. You can see all guns are pointed toward the right angles. Yusuke going to hop right onto that angle into Laundry. And this is just about over. I hate to call rounds like this, but honestly, with the amount of split pressure that you have going on from InControl, and the fact that both Jig and Nebula are pushing from separate angles, if one of them dies, then you can call it round if you really want to be that specific. Shotgun close. He's not going to expect that one. Diffuser's dropped. 20 seconds left, and Jig has to peek through a mirror window, and he knows that this one is all but over. Flawless round, if you count it like that, for InControl, as they not only steal a half, but now are starting to steal round after round on defense. Is Jig going to be put to very low HP? It's going to be InControl 5-2.
Yeah, very well played from InControl in this round, not giving an inch. Literally, they didn't even get to have a chance to attack the bomb site. They did enter the building, they got the meeting hatch open, but even then, there's nothing that Renascence could have done there to put any kind of pressure onto the bomb site. They tried pressuring into the windows. They didn't have any intel. They weren't getting their entries in. When the entry did try to enter into and make some kind of pressure, they got whopped. They just got completely sent off the face of the game. Second round of defense for InControl is going to go upstairs into dorms as expected. I'm expecting InControl to win this just based off how that last round went. They just have so much control over the bomb site. They looked like a very solid unit. I'm not gonna lie. Exile with 10 picks. He's been putting on a monstrous performance here for his team as one of the new additions. Nivozo hasn't been as impactful as I was expecting him to be, but you know, he's been put on Nomad and Mute. It's a bit, sometimes it's tough to get picks on those operators depending on the position that you put yourself in. Legion's also going to come out here from Yusuke on the just for intel. Obviously, you need the Jaeger since Wamai is banned, and then Smoke will be there for area denial, as well as bringing in the shield just for utility dump and just protecting the bomb site. Meanwhile, on the attacking side of things, nothing's really going to change here. They're bringing in both Thermite and Maverick. Personally, I would have chosen Hibana and Maverick. And this is the first time I think I've seen T3 be utilized with a Jaeger at least in quite a long time on this map.
Yeah, we have an extension from Attic into T2, T3, and you have Jaeger playing there. This is a very interesting one because obviously, as you know, Jaeger is playing on a do or die position. If he's spotted out there, he's going to have to peek down, he's going to have to worry about his windows, and he's got one balcony to do so. But at the same time, Yusuke is also going to be playing there. This, on paper, looks really good for InControl. Very risky, because obviously you leave one of the most important walls of this attack completely open with no shield in sight. So if Renascence were able to get these picks and kind of get themselves into tower and get that tower control, they could find themselves very easily inside of Attic within just a few seconds. The entire round can flip on its head. It's a very risky strategy, but also a very high reward for InControl, who definitely seem like the type of team to experiment with this type of things. But at the same time, Renascence don't seem like they're going to be going over to Attic, as all 5 players, their resources are all shifted towards the first floor. You could see Jig now, actually, I think he's going to rappel up, but Nebula droning everything out. It seems like this is going to be a bottom take, and it's not going to help that Jig loses his life and nades immediately. Renascence, player retention is such a big problem for them. In no time, the entire round can just look completely grim and like a completely grim and stark contrast from what you'd expect from the very start. And this is just one of those examples. You lose one of your hard breachers, but again, very importantly, you lose grenades. That's a really tough opening pick to start with.
Very tough indeed. And losing your Maverick early on like that, especially if he's not able to get anything open, it's just a blow to your team. There's no Thatcher to help you assist with getting walls open. Now you're left to just trying to go for a big window take, which is what seems to be the case here for Nebula, as he's got the diffuser outside a big window. The rest of the attack is trying to push in from down below, and they're trying to take that bottom, the under, what's it called, map portion. But it's just, I don't think it's going to really work out for them. There's so much time that's being wasted. They're stalling out here, and they're not really trying to garner control and gain control to try to help this execute go down. There's half a minute left in the round. Dunny will be on the generator window repel, but for the attack that it's going to be at, I don't think he necessarily needs to be on that window. I think he should be over on the kids window. Meanwhile, Dunny and Senpai are actually going to shut me up here as they take down Navozo and Bone. But Yusuke will get the instant refrag. It's now a 3v3 here, and Yusuke will have to rotate around over towards main. But Nebula still has that diffuser outside. Dunny has to rotate away from generator, and the Thermite will hop in. He'll get clapped down by Kojin. Just running through the smoke as Yusuke is able to take care of Senpai. It's all on Dunny, and a 1v3 with 3 seconds left to go. He has no hope, no chance. Everything is done here for Dunny. And InControl will take yet another round. This is their second defense round, and their third is going to be heading downstairs, most likely into either meeting kitchen or kitchen dining.
Wow, that was quite the rough start there from Renascence. A lot of time wasted, honestly, for them, and you can see it's really starting to hurt them. 2 rounds, that's all that they've got, and they were both on defense. You can kind of see where this is going. You can kind of see the pattern that has been set here. Unfortunately, it's safe to say that Renascence are a defense team, and InControl are specifically living up to their name right now. They are in control of this game, and off of a very interesting strategy and off of 2 picks from Renascence that looks like they could have converted the round, unfortunately, they just slipped up. That could have been a missed call from the IGL. That could have just been a little bit of team leadership slipping through their fingers, and the calls not getting out properly at the right time. And that's gonna really harp on the fact that InControl are now 6 rounds in to this game, and Renascence have yet to really show that they're gonna be putting up a fight. So, possible final round here. Here is going to be on meeting and kitchen, your kind of tertiary bomb site. That's still being figured out right now by the T3 to T1 scene. It doesn't seem like we've decided on which one is better, but InControl are going to be running the meeting kitchen. Will this be the end of map number 1? Will this be yet another point that slips through Renascence's fingers, which really they need any point that they can get at this point?
Yeah, I think so. And right now, Renascence need all the help they can get. Dunny and Smithers, they need all the help that they can get. Jig, Senpai, and Nebula have been practically non-existent in this map, at least. I don't know if it's just because they didn't really have a good warm-up scrim or exactly what's happening, but they need to wake up and smell the coffee. They need to pick up things up for themselves here. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very quick Oregon. And already, as I say it here, Kojin's going to be aggressively holding inside a kitchen hall here right by meeting. He's got a shield as well to assist him. The Thermite of Nebula, he's been a bit of a interesting player, I have to say. He's just, it doesn't seem like Renascence have an idea of what they want to do. Like, they don't really have a set game plan. It's more so just like, let's see what this the defenders are doing and maybe we can react to it. But I don't know. They're just, it's just been very interesting of how they've been trying to utilize this hard breach.
Oh,
That is a very, very ill-advised peek to come from Kojin, and
You hear that?
yeah, I mean, yeah,
choked.
that shotgun has been regarded as the sniper 590 from from my experience. Like I've been clapped from farther ranges than that by that shotgun at full HP, and I think Kojin just believed in his ability to gun down Dunny a little bit too much. So Dunny's gonna get the opening pick here. Down goes your smoke. That's a massive pick, and that's also gonna be all 3 toxic canisters gone. I don't know why he didn't even try to utilize those toxic canisters to his advantage, because he probably could have tossed one and then possibly pushed in through the smoke. Maybe I don't know. But that's gonna be Kojin's life wasted, and we've only got a minute 15 left in the round here. Bone and Navoza are still gonna be holding up top, while Yusuke and Exile are gonna be fighting for control down below on the bomb site. Meanwhile, Smithers and the rest of Renascence are gonna be trying to take control of Attic, while the Thermite here of Nebula is trying to open up the meeting wall. There's a minute left to go. Yusuke is still fighting inside here.
Located by attackers.
Yeah, this is looking really rough right now. Bone looking for this possible flank. Time is really ticking down here. It's all coming to this explosive finale here from Renascence. Their execute is looming on the horizon, but at the same time, again, you have Bone waiting, itching to get himself upstairs. And you also have Yusuke playing a very aggressive angle behind sandbags, and he could get caught out by the hatch. He's got to be extremely careful. The one thing about this site is that there's no safe place to plant, really, unless you get control of the entire site, which they don't have just yet. As I say, that's Yusuke. He'll trade himself out there. Smithers takes that kill. Bone is all the way in split now, and he's holding off. Diffuser is dropped, and 15 seconds remain. There's a person inside a site, but he doesn't have the diffuser. That's Senpai to go down. 10 seconds left, and the diffuser has to drop. Dunny needs to get the plant down right now, and it's gonna come down to these very crucial seconds of damage. Whenever Exile starts zapping away, he's gonna soften up the player with the diffuser, and this could allow for someone to slip a shot by. Oh my word! Bone and Navozo gonna slip by 3 shots, and it's just gonna collapse at the literal snap of a finger, and a beautifully placed flank by Bone. And map number 1 literally just gonna end, and if you blinked, you might have just missed it. Beautiful stuff there from InControl. 7-2. Clubhouse is not looking that good. I'm just putting it out there. That is not the greatest start.
Yeah, especially if InControl are going to be starting on defense, then I just have no hope and no faith for Renascence. outside of just Smithers and Dunny, that team is non-existent. I'm sorry. But you say it ends at the snap of a finger. It's almost like InControl or Thanos. They just snap their fingers at the Infinity Stones. It's almost like that's what happened.
I think maybe we can compare the 5 players of the InControl roster to like the 5 Infinity Stones or something like that. You know, they came together, and you know, SCS is that Infinity Gauntlet or whatever. I hope we don't get copyright struck.
I don't think we should.
I don't know how that
There's
works.
no,
with
there's no
Twitch.
DMCA rules go crazy, so
that's
honestly,
true.
apparently Twitch streamers are getting banned for stuff that they did like years ago. But in any case, we're gonna keep it going. What a game, guys! Y'all were awesome, by the way, too. This is honestly, you know, it's fun to be casting with you guys or hosting you guys as well. You just work so well, so I just had to mention that first off. But you guys have anything you want to get off your chest before we head on over to the analyst desk? Give you guys a little bit of a water break, you know, get all that fun stuff done.
I love Chris's shirt right now.
You love whose shirt? You love Usu's shirt? Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. I saw the ear coming up, but I wasn't gonna mention it because I didn't want to sound stupid if it was like a banana or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to. But
yeah, InControl are definitely, you know, the dominant team in this series, easily dispatching of Renascence 7-2 on Oregon. I'm expecting probably the same, if not more, from InControl there. It just looks that Renascence they need more practice as a team. They need to get more experience with each other. They look like they're not comfortable with some of the players on their roles outside of Dunny and Smithers. Like those two, if I mean, they tried their best, you know, but overall that team just looked lost, just to put it in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see a little bit because I know Renascence has a lot of potential, but for sure we are going to keep that into account as we head into map number 2 later on. But we're going to give you guys a little bit of a break. Uzu, Jazz, we'll see you back here in a few minutes, but we're going to go ahead and hop on over to Smit and Putin, who have been working diligently in the analyst channel, you know, gathering all the fun little tidbits from that match for you. So But I do have a fun little comment before we get started, so I'm going to wait for a second, Smitten and Putin. But, you know, my favorite player is the Bone guy. He's a very good aimer, special game sense. Honestly, he's one of the best in the game, so he comes equipped with his Jaeger ADS. He destroy the attacker gadgets around. He has a cool gun that goes pew pew attention. So if anybody, hopefully you get that meme. Everyone out there, please, don't make me seem stupid.
Obviously the best copy pasta in the world, you know.
Thank you, Smith. Oh my god,
I
so
honestly
worried.
don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm gonna play along. Yes, copy pasta, amazing.
Oh yeah, it's been all over. It's been all over for the past like week. But all right, guys, I'll leave it to you for a second. You guys take it away for me, so not speak.
Awesome. So, we chose round 1. Well, I guess technically I chose round 1 more and less because I wanted to really focus on what InControl did well. So if we look at basically how they have everything set up, was they didn't chase the Vigil. So the whole bait for this defense was to be like, oh, let's make a rotate alongside Attic, let's place this Vigil in back of Attic, and then 9 out of 10 times somebody would chase me. If they chase him, they waste time, they don't have time to push sight, and therefore they win. How are you feeling about that, Smitty?
I mean, you know, you're right. I mean, they didn't chase them, and I mean, it ended up putting a little bit of a dent on their plan for attackers. But you know, they ended up pulling through because the defense just wasn't good enough. I mean, the team isn't called Smithers; it's called Renaissance. So you can't just rely on Smithers. I mean, Smithers Smithers. He has to be doing a really good job roaming. He has to keep poking at the attackers if he wants them to chase him. 9 times out of 10, you know, you just gotta put in that work as a roamer, and you obviously have to work together as a team. Can't rely on that one roamer to basically be the center point of your whole strat.
Oh, that's so true. It's we did see him put work later on, but one thing I want to point out is I personally thought Oregon was going to be more defender sided. So these are going to be your statistics. So through SCS currently, there is a 51.6 win rate on Laundry and a 48.4% lose rate. So that's actually very even odds, especially for Oregon, which is really nice to see. So let's go and look at positioning real quick. And then, so for this, we see that the Vigil, he was roaming second floor, obviously. But in the later round, we saw him rotate over and flank down these meeting stairs, which led him to get the kill onto the Zofia and the Nomad. But one thing that I do want to point out
It
is this Jaeger. This Jaeger, he was just like, bro, I hear these kids blue. I'm wide swinging. This kid, he literally wide swings his pillar. He gets killed by the sledge inside blue, which immediately gives him the control on pillar. So these two go down, take control. This Vigil's like, oh crap, bro, I got a flank. So he goes down the stairs, gets the 2 picks, gets traded off inside of blue, but by that point the damage is already done. Like, how are you feeling about that round?
Well, actually, the 2 picks he did get was indeed Zofia, but not the Nomad. It was actually Hibana, which I
Oh,
thought swung things in the favor of Renaissance that round. But that's where I said the team has to work together. Just because you get an important pick like Hibana, so she can get the pillar wall, or she can't get the pillar wall, does still mean you have to coordinate together and still win out the route because you still have that rotate in bunker still open. They weren't quick enough to reinforce that and ended up just having complete control of the important side of supply site.
Yeah, I think a good point to make there is like when you've got the man advantage like that, because if I'm remembering correctly, then after that swing sort of happened, I believe they had one man up on the
No,
defensive, or was it tied? Or
it was
well,
tied. It was three deep.
okay,
It was
okay.
3v3.
Yeah, it took me a second because that was all the way back in round number 1, so that's my bad there. But you're on the defense. You don't have to play aggressive. You just have to play smart. So that's the biggest thing to look for there. But I can guarantee Renaissance comms when that swing sort of happened and the Jaeger went down, they're probably like, Vigil, go, go, go! Like, come on, they're pushing. It was probably freak out moment 2020, and he went down there, and it was just the prime time because they thought they cleared it out. It was honestly a really beautiful roam. So I mean, I'll give it to him on that one, but it just wasn't enough to sort of save the round. Um, But what were you guys thinking about the remainder of the game here? I know you guys had a couple other highlights for me too as well, or do you guys still have a couple points to make on this one?
Uh,
So it's
go ahead, go
go
ahead.
for it.
No,
Huh?
you're good, man. You're
Are
good.
you sure? I would love to pass the time over to you, Smitty.
Okay, fine. So, anyways, I just want to highlight just how well INC work together to make quick work of just Renaissance. My bad. It's hard to pronounce that name. They were able to just take control of below and when they were playing in kids Renaissance, and they were just using those angles and cutting out the rotations from the defenders, and it was just honestly just awesome to see. I've never seen anything like that. And not only that, they were InControl was using good use of the utility of getting rid of the defender over there and bedroom. In round 4, I mean, we could see these guys. Kojin, he ended up getting an opening kill on Jaeger. That's your Smithers. You're basically quote unquote carry. Um, and you know, InControl just wasn't using their intel correctly and just kind of face checked. And I mean, that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles for InControl. You know,
Yeah.
Renaissance just ended up getting those frags because they didn't have any intel on them. Like you can see right here, they had a drone inside of security. They checked it on there, and whoever swung in security, knowing it was clear, didn't check white and openly just got fragged. That drone just passed through the hallway, missed the Mozzie right there, sitting right in front of you, and ended
Smith,
up costing his life.
I've actually got a question for Putin and you real quick. What do you think is the reasoning behind that where they didn't drone? Do you think it was just
So
overconfidence?
this is what I theorize. So they're like, oh, bro, we killed this Jaeger that's already roaming by dining. We see nobody set up for refrag as far as they can see, as far as what they droned. So they're like, all right, we already know we have this control. More or less, it's highly unlikely for somebody to be roaming basement, especially with how their playstyle was, so to say. And so I'd say that Mozzie definitely caught him off guard. One thing that really blew my mind, basically almost all the deaths were on main floor. There was only 2 deaths on the site floor, which to me it's kind of crazy how they've really played that round. 2 people died from hatch. The Jaeger died inside of laundry, and then the Zofia Capital just died trying to pitch on site.
Okay, fair enough. So, Smith, what about you, man? You have anything to say about that? Any last minute sort of comments that you guys have before we hop back into map number 2?
I mean, all InControl, all they have to do is just keep getting the map control they need, and they'll win. They'll gunfights. When they're gunfights, gain the map control, they got it. You know, they're really good players, and they're good players. They work together, and that's all they need.
Awesome, Smith. Awesome, Putin. Thank you guys so much. We'll be definitely seeing you guys back here in just a little while after the conclusion of our second map, which is going to be Clubhouse. But we're going to go ahead and kick it back on over to our casters for the night. So it's Jazz and Uzu back with us. And oh, Jazz was catching a drink of water right there too. Oh man, hydration is key, my friends. Remember, drink your water. But how you guys doing? You ready for this second map? Oh, Jazz, you are muted, my friend.
The question is past Renascence ready for map number 2? Because that wasn't a very smooth map number 1, I will say. It could have just been the Tuesday chills or whenever they played this game. I don't know if it was Tuesday. I'm just spitting. So honestly, who knows? Clubhouse is a very sort of map where it's established already. It's kind of gotten itself into that meta, so anyone can pick it up and play it. So whenever you say, oh, it's Renaissance's map, it can be anyone's map. Nobody knows what can happen to Clubhouse, but at the same time, after seeing the beating that was taken and the fact that InControl didn't pick this map, which means that they're probably going to pick defense, that's not a good start, especially seeing what they did on defense.
Oh,
you're muted too,
man. Hey, you're laughing at Jazz.
My bad.
Happened to you,
My bad. I forgot I was muted in Discord. I was muted in Discord, but not in the OBS Ninja. My bad. But yeah. Anyway, Renaissance, they just did not look there at all. You know, I'm expecting for InControl to take Clubhouse as well. I think outside of Dunny and Smithers, that team is just gone. Like they don't know exactly where to position themselves and for executes on attacks, and then for defense, you know, they're trying to like work on these cheeky plays every single round. It's just not working for them. They have like no synergy, no connect or no chemistry from what it looks like. They just probably are a pickup squad that just made this league and see how they can do. I don't know if they're going to go for CL quals if they choose to do so, but something's definitely got to change within like their mentality outside of Dunny and Smithers, because obviously Dunny and Smithers, they look like they want to be here, but for the rest, they just they're just not there. I don't know if it's just like an off day for them or if like some of them are in a slump or what have you. But InControl, from what I've heard, Oregon was one of their best maps, and for taking InControl to Oregon was not a wise decision. So I'm expecting for there to be a little bit of a better result here for Renascence, but I'm thinking it's going to go InControl 2-0.
I mean, given that it is a very common map to be played at the same time, InControl or on defense. I mean, there's just no way around that. That is the most tough thing that you can look at as a team that just got 7-2'd and you started on defense. That is just not the way that you want to look at things. So Maverick Thatcher, very common bans coming out here on Clubhouse. I mean, it's just Clubhouse. We don't have to go through this too much. Next one's going to be Mira, Echo, or... Wait, is Echo quarantined still?
I think Echo is quarantined within this league, yes.
That's
but fortunately
so
for you, Jazz, man, the one operator that you hate with an absolute passion will be banned here first by Renascence. They clearly don't want to play with or against Malusi. Maverick and Thatcher being banned here, no surprise there. Malusi gone is going to provide a little bit more advantage for the attack here on Renascence. And then the kid getting banned out here, that's a good call to come out here from InControl as well, starting off on defense. Although in my opinion, I would have kept the Cade. It just helps overall for the defense, but clearly InControl, they don't feel comfortable attacking without both Maverick and Thatcher and leaving a Cade up. So there's obviously ways to work around that Kaid. But if you're attacking, for example, CCTV and both the garage walls are reinforced, you can place the Electroclaw above in the rafters on number 1 and number 2. There's actual numbers on the rafters, so you can just place the Electroclaw directly in the middle of those numbers, and it'll electrify the wall of the garage that's directly below it. Starting off on defense here, however, first bomb site for InControl, we will be heading down below into the basement. Navozo this time is going to be on the Legion instead of Yusuke, so these two are going to be swapping their operators, but for the most part, the defensive lineup is going to be the same. You're bringing in 3 year 1 ops with Kojin, Yusuke, and Bone. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, you're bringing in also 4 year 1 ops, but 3 OG operators with Ash, Thermite, and Sledge. And it's crazy how important frag grenades are, and you just see Buck just completely skyrocket down, completely just shot, like his entire play percentage just completely shot down. It's absolutely insane.
I mean, that's like the crazy thing is that you had players literally dedicated to learning Buck's recoil, understanding how you can aggress as Buck, and yet Sledge just came in and took the spot of the better one, of the two. It was basically undisputed at one point, it was Buck. Buck was the better out of the two. He was the best soft breach operator probably the game has ever seen. In comes Sledge, who now has one exclusive thing that Buck definitely wants, and that's grenades. We've seen time and time again, especially this game, just how important grenades can be in dispatching shields and even dispatching players out of their positions. And that just goes to show just how this meta has completely changed and how, this game is just completely different from what it used to be, and how much just taking a single grenade, a single choice of secondary utility can impact around here. Renascence getting themselves upstairs very quickly right now. Senpai looks like he wants to get a little bit deeper. He's getting himself pushed down the main stairs. You liked it? Huh? You immature ginger? You can't do this to me, man. Oh, you're like 23, 24? Come on now.
Oh my god, I love you, Jasmine. I love you, Adam. I missed you. I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
Oh my god, I probably made that a bit more funnier than it had to be, but that was a good one. I like that one. Oh boy. Half the round is already going to be shot here, and Renascence are still trying to get control of the bomb site. Smithers is already trying to progress down blue. However, if Jig is able to give him this intel, he can progress down blue. I think that drone was shot by the player inside a church. If not, then Navozo sitting over by K9. Ash Charge will be shot through to try to deal with the evil that's all the way at the end of the hall. And I don't know if it was able to dispatch of it However, that's going to be 65 seconds that remain here in this round. Navozo's still sitting inside green box. There's no one sitting over by the generator. As where's the Jaeger? Oh Jesus, I'm so blind, man. I was like, is he like away from the sides or someone roaming? But I forgot that there's someone inside of dirt. However, Navozo's gonna be the first death here in the round. Dunny's gonna go ahead and start to drone out the bomb site, but he'll quickly get shot as well. Bone has then transitioned into generator, and there's less than 40 seconds that remain. Yusuke and Bone are gonna try to hold inside of blue and church, keep that control for themselves. Meanwhile, you got Senpai over at the bottom of main stairs. You have Kojin still protecting dirt. He has all 3 toxic canisters, so Renaissance here have not progressed any kind of pressure into driving that smoke out. So that smoke's going to be very crucial for the rest of this round. An easy pick from Bone here as he's able to dispatch a Smithers. 4v4 here. Bone on very low HP, but down goes your Ash. And another pick coming in from the mute is Yusuke with the M590 as Dunny finds one. Kojin finds Dunny. It's all on Jig in a 1v3. 5 seconds remain. 2 members of InControl are on very low HP, but Jig isn't even going to attempt anything here. He's just going to give up. He'll only get it down in a 1v3, and InControl will solidify round number 1 in their pocket.
What a beautiful amount of gunfights being taken by InControl. I mean, they just had every single gunfight. The fact that the mute was able to push up with a shotgun, pump it out, and just Terminator everybody inside of Moto just blows me away. He should not have won that. He's a one pump choke. The fact that he got away with that really just blows my mind. It goes to show how InControl, their gunfights, they're really good. They're just really good. In Renascence, I mean, they had such a good time management. Initially, they had themselves on the second floor for like what, a minute in? That's so fast. And you had already somebody playing bottom, what was it? Bottom main. You had somebody playing bottom main, and yet you still couldn't convert that into a complete and full attack. It turned into a 5-second push through Moto and just hope everything goes well. Obviously, that didn't happen. So we're going to be seeing Gym Bedroom. No cash, no CC. That's just completely ignored right now by InControl. They might bring it in later, obviously. But to see that as their tertiary bomb site, a little bit interesting. Let's see what InControl can do with this. This is a bomb site that really comes down to your positioning. That's one big thing that InControl have shown to be very strong at, is just how they position themselves, keeping themselves safe and establishing crossfires, all while watching out for window pressure, and all while a team pushes you in, most likely through cache or through jacuzzi walls. So I think InControl, this could be a really good site for them, but it's also a very difficult site to defend. Let's see what they can make of it as round number 2, as the prep phase expires. Let's see what happens with Renascence, who are now going to attack a bomb site. I don't think they expected to attack.
I don't think so either. Nebula is going to be by himself over here at Gym. With there no Thatcher being on the board, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him. There is no bandit tricking going on. However, I'm pretty sure there will be a mute jammer here on the other side of that wall. Right now, the Sledge of Jig is going to go ahead and upside down rappel and open up into server. Meanwhile, it's going to be defended by Kojin, Yusuke, and Bone, trying to keep cash and server in their pocket. So from the looks of it, Kojin's going to be keeping a crossfire inside a server, at least for the time being, until that castle barricade does get hit on open. At least I believe it's already been hit open. Okay, so Kojin's going to just be prone inside of construction, seeing what he can do to provide some assistance for his team. They're just rotating back and forth with the Vector in hand. Meanwhile, you got Yusuke and Bone sitting inside of cache, as Navozo and Exile are going to be holding down the bomb site. Well, actually, Navozo's the only one on the bomb site, with Kojin rotating back and forth between construction and bedroom, while Exile is sitting in between Master and Logistics, trying to keep control of that map at that area of the map as well. I don't think they've opened up Logistics hatch, so this is all just horizontal gameplay. There's no highway pressure coming in from Renascence. There's just no pressure whatsoever at all outside of the jacuzzi wall. And they're not even trying to get any pressure into cache. We're not trying to get anything going for them here. It's a very slow round coming out here from Renascence. That Goyosha will pop Exile down to half HP, if not below. And so that Castle will have to be thinking about his next moves here as he rotates into Secret.
Bomb located by attackers.
Time is ticking right now. Not a single frag has been found, but the pressure is starting to increase here. Senpai, he's been that sort of lone wow, I just Lone Lurker. There it is. Sort of been that Lone Lurker, but he hasn't found a pick off of this or off of any, I don't think, of any of his lurks. Let's see what happens here. Explosions going off, and Exile going to be forced out here, but he's able to rotate away. The one angle that Senpai's supposed to be watching, and unfortunately, he'll just miss out on Exile crossing. Opening pick is going to go to Smithers, however, as he takes down Novozo, and Renascence start to push themselves in, and Jim has lost the diffuser. Sorry, Nebula has lost the diffuser inside of Jim. Senpai pushing in. This could be a really good push from him as Kojin finds his second kill. Swinging in is going to be Senpai to find his own second kill as Diffuser is going down and Bone is all by himself as Dunny takes down Kojin, and it's all up to this Jaeger.
Oh!
Down one, but won't down him. He'll take down Senpai, and he'll also take down Dunny. It's all up to Smithers in a 1 versus 1. How Bone has turned the tides as the Diffuser needs to be disabled. 30 seconds left on that, and Smithers has found himself outside of Jacuzzi, but Bone is a smart man. He knows what he has to peek. It's just where in Jacuzzi Balk is this man. He might bait out the defuse as he's starting to stick it just a little bit. 6 seconds left, but he can't do it just yet. Concussions coming on out here, and the Zofia is playing this so safe. Smithers gonna go for the stun, and I think he stopped the defuse process unless Bone did that himself, and it's reached the point of no contention. Bone's just gonna go for the frag and won't even find that as Smithers takes down Bone. Renascence take a much needed round in round number 2, and it seems like the very unpredictable bomb site just goes in the way of Renascence. A beautiful drop shot there, and will be a tied game. But can they continue this momentum? We saw this before. Early game, Renascence were looking great. They just need to keep it up. Can they do it any longer?
I really hope they can. That was a very good round to come out here from Renascence as a whole. Right up until Bone got those 2 picks early on, or early in the retake that he tried to do. He got those 2 crucial picks, and then it just came down to the 1v1 and how he plays it against Smithers. One thing that I probably would have had him do is rotate away from Master into the hallway rather than into Gym. He has eyes on where the diffuser is. Obviously, it's not in bedroom, so then you rotate over into Master Hall, and then that way you get an eye on where your opponent possibly could be. And as we saw, Smithers is playing over by the table on the Jacuzzi balcony, and that way Bone has a wider range, I guess, a better opportunity to take that gunfight versus Smithers. And he has a better opportunity to get that pick and try to win, and obviously win the round for his team. So clearly that obviously didn't happen. Hopefully next time that he is in that situation, it does work out for him that way. Maybe if InControl watch it back, they take that criticism and implement it into their game plan. Something that Bone can do to put it into his own game style and play style. But however, it's going to be the same strategy to come out here from InControl. Castle off the 2 windows, one inside of construction, the other one inside of Gym, and then castle off the Gym doorway. There is going to be some bandit tricking this time around, as this is this more standard setup. You're bringing in both bandit and mute. I don't know who was traded out here for InControl for that bandit. Oh, it was the Goyo. That's right. The Goyo is not going to be in play here, so this is going to be a bandit trick coming in from Kojin. And for Renascence, from what I noticed, they don't even take control of highway, really. They just want to open up Jacuzzi and enter in through Gym door and get the plant down. And obviously, they go for some late pressure over on Cash.
Yeah. Bandit trick coming in out, though. Oh, there it is. And there's nobody to counter that. Not a single person. And you wonder why. It's because Jig is nowhere to be seen. He has the nades. Where is he? He needs to join his team. There he is. He's on the roof.
Not only the nades, he's also got the sledgehammer. So the Zofia and the sledge need to be rotating over to Master. I'm sorry, towards highway, and getting those castle barricades open. You sledge open the castle barricade, burn off any ADSs that could be preventing the other castle barricade from getting open, and then that's how you flush out the bandit. And then even if you need to, then you can possibly have someone on the main stairs window right outside of Freezer. And that's how you pick off the bandit. That's an easy way to do it. Obviously, that's not what happened here for Renascence. They're having to work around that bandit who gets away scot-free. I don't know how. But for the time being, Kojin is just going to be sitting down below. And this Execute's already starting to come in. I don't even think InControl are aware of this push coming in from the bathroom. Exile's going to have to win his ones here. He's got to go against 2 members. As Nebula team kills. Hello? Another pick coming in from Bone. A 2v4 here for the attacking squad of Renascence. But Nebula peeks while reloading. He ran out of ammo in the magazine. This is not looking good for him. But Jig, however, we will refrag here onto Navozo, finding another pick here, equalizing in a 2v2. This is looking bad for InControl. It's Bone and Yusuke here to protect the home front here. Less than 60 seconds remain as Bone is still trying to pressure in from construction. You have Yusuke who smokes Jig off the game. Now a 1v2 here for Nebula, stuck inside a bathroom, scared to peek anything. This is not looking good here.
The fact that he's
my
alive
goodness.
is just blowing me away. He has been sitting inside of that stall for just so long, inside of that shower, and he's still alive with such low HP. But Bone, he's going to expect that one. And InControl, beautiful calls from them, but that looked really interesting. The fact that Nebula was able to stay alive and get a few picks as well as Jig. A little bit of aggressiveness maybe from InControl, but in the end it works out. It pays off. They finally get their gym defense out of the way, and now they can shift towards one of the two of their favorable bomb sites because it has been 2 rounds. They could choose either Church Arsenal or Cash and CCTV. So theoretically, they're in a really good position right now to try and scurry away with this lead. It's going to be Church Arsenal being picked from them. See if Renascence really expect this, because whenever you're prepping for Clubhouse, the one thing that you're prepping for in the beginning of your, I guess, like whenever you're just getting ready for club in general, you're waiting for that CCTV. You're waiting for that CCTV attack. The fact that InControl are keeping Renascence on their toes, right, on their toes, just waiting for that CCTV defense to come on out, even if it doesn't, it's playing a lot into the mental game of Renascence, who don't know what to attack, who aren't going to find out until they drone. And by then, you don't have a lot of time to prepare for it. You're going to have to make some either calls mid-round or shot call something as soon as you possibly can. People really don't understand what an offsite pick can do to a team. Let's see it happen. Let's see if InControl can make this one work, as they are in the lead. And round number 4 will go to the basement, a site that has looked very favorable for them.
So indeed, this is going to be the 4th bomb site here for InControl. One of the 2 bomb sites that they have already won, given the fact that they went down here once and they defended gym bedroom twice. I'm very curious as to why InControl opt to not go to server cache second, and instead why they went to gym bedroom first as their second bomb site. And as we know with many teams, it's either CCTV or basement as the first bomb site, and then you go to the next one depending on which one you started at, and then your third bomb site is often gym bedroom. That's not the case here for InControl. They've opted to go basement first, and then they go gym bedroom twice because they lost it and then won it, and now they're being in a position to go back down to the basement, which they pretty much won with no issue. They only lost 1 member, if I'm not mistaken, in the entirety of that first round. First minute of play is going to get burned out here from Renascence on this attack, and the control that they're trying to take from the looks of it right now is just going to be inside of kitchen and pretty much nothing else. I don't even know if they've opened up dirt to provide pressure, because the last time Kojin was in dirt, he had all 3 toxic babes and was just set on protecting it all by himself. There's a drone from Senpai all the way in strip, and I think he's just trying to clear out to see if there's any potential roamers, but normally on a basement defense like this, it's very rare to see a roamer. But the first opening pick's going to come out from Jig, actually, and he'll be able to clean up Exile, so no impact tricking will come in from him. Instead, it's going to have to be on Navozo, who gets completely blasted off the game. Huge pick to come in from Jig, and a third one possibly as Yusuke peeks in from Church double door, but he'll retreat away safely and retreat over into the refrigerator. I can't remember what that's called.
Refrigerator. That works.
The cooler.
I mean, Renascence, I mean, they've got what they've wanted. They have those 2 opening picks. They just need to smoothly transition this into an attack. That's something that they've had so much trouble with. They let somebody slip by and just get a 2K or 3K out of nowhere. They have control around. They have to realize that. They have to understand that they have, whatever happens because of them. They can control this entire attack, and they can control basically the entire bomb site. With only 3 players, they're all going to have to watch something at some point. Kojin going to get challenged in dirt, so that's 1 player taking his attention away from the main site, as a player, I believe it is Senpai, to push in and unfortunately get picked off. Whether the smoke knows it or not, it's now going to be a 4 versus 3. Yusuke and Bone both watching in through Moto. because that's where they think the execute's going to happen. But the bomb is being planted all the way over in B. Smithers going to take down Bone. It's going to be a 2 versus 4. The diffuser should go down theoretically as Kojin. He's peeking he's peeking a Phantom right now. Yusuke is going to take down Dunny. It's going to be 3 versus 2. Senpai's still bleeding out. No one's going to go for that pickup, so now it has to come down to the rotate, but a retake. But Kojin's not paying attention to that. He'll finally get the down and start to shift away to a full retake, but Smithers will take down Yusuke. Is he too little too late is the question, as a 3 versus 1 ensues. Kojin on very low HP. He's got little to no hope to clutch this one out with the HP that he has, as it is going to be Jig to try and push up here, but they're going to play this one safe. They're going to wait it out, and so is Kojin. Round number 4 is going to come to a draw, or come to a close. The curtains will be drawn, and it's going to be Renascence to take round number 4.
That's what you meant to say. Yeah. Renaissance here looking a lot better compared to what we saw in Oregon. As expected, you know, there's been a fire lit underneath the Renaissance here. Although I still think that InControl, for the most part, will be, you know, taking this one home. First time we're going to be seeing server and cache being played out by InControl. This will be the 5th bomb site they choose to go to. Nothing really being changed here outside of both Jaeger and Wamai. Maestro is going to be in the game for Intel this round as well. Mute going to be the only hard breach now. And then Smoke's just there for, you know, just to be there. I think they're going to utilize the Maestro in Rafters. Although one thing I would like to see from Kojin is what we've lately seen inside of the US division. It's more so with SSG, and a little bit, it started to spread out a little bit as well. I'm pretty sure you've seen it, Jazzman, where you see the Smoke swap out the shotgun, the Mossberg, the shotgun. You trade it for the FMG9.
Yeah.
And then you utilize the
FMG. 1.5x, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got that small little zoom advantage. So it's also just an automatic weapon. And if you're trying to hold Rafters with an SMG11, and if you're able to do that, you're just the best SMG11 player in the game, hands down. There's no one that can touch you. I'm not gonna cap. It's just ridiculous if you're able to keep control of Rafters with less than 100 bullets in your reserve, and with how much ammo that you're needing to use throughout the entirety of that round. Oh my god. But one
call
thing
me
I'm
nuts, I guess.
One thing I guess, yeah. One thing I'm noticing from InControl here, they're not making the Rafters rotate into a walkable rotate. They're just using it for a line of sight to have Yusuke actually, who will be playing Rafters, not the Maestro. So
that is an interesting dynamic there. And if the attackers call it out and they know that they're going to have, if they get that kill, like that's it. That man's going to be playing his life there. And if they're able to call that out, they can kind of work around that. Smithers is going to clear underneath here, going for a very typical trick where you open underneath the wall. But Bone, tell me he has been droned out here inside a secret. It's just, it doesn't seem like he has. This might be a freebie. This could be detrimental if Senpai or Smithers doesn't realize it. Bullets come flying from above right now. Both Senpai and Smithers being pressured inside of stock, and they have Bone just waiting at the door here. Senpai gonna go right over to Secret, though. I think he is gonna finally drone this out, but is it too little too late? Because Zofia is starting to finally peek around the corner. What the heck? Smithers, turn around! Smithers, there's somebody behind you. Oh no! Bone gets away with a free pick. It's immediately traded, however. Exile goes down. Nice trade there from them, but wow. That is some proper miscommunication and misdroning, and he's still down. He's over by Swamp. I don't know if Senpai even knows this. Shot's gonna come on out here. Somebody at least knows that Bone is playing there, so this surely doesn't work out, and it doesn't. Jig is gonna finally end the reign of this Jaeger inside of Secret and take control of underneath completely. CC wall is also going to get opened up here, so pressure really starting to mount here on InControl's side. Jig gonna get a nade off. He's been excellent with these nades so far. No takedown Novozo. Now a 4 versus 2. It's deja vu all over again as Yasuke. The one thing that we were talking about is how he's gonna play his life there, and unfortunately that's gonna be the undoing of InControl as Renascence storm into garage and Dunny takes down 2. It's gonna be another round here for Renascence, looking so much better than what they were over on Oregon. They'll take the lead right out of the hands of InControl.
I just realized why Dunny is fragging out the way he is.
What is it?
It's the Bolo charm.
Is it? It is the Bolo charm. It's always the Bolo charm.
You can subscribe at twitch.tv/Bolo if you don't know. If you put that charm, it gives you a 50% chance boost of boosting your fragging power, and clearly it's working here for Dunny.
I mean that man is he's staying fragging. That man is it's proof. It's proof that works. People say it doesn't work, but it's just proof right there. I mean, I don't like hello.
Attackers need to locate and
I hope I get my own charm someday. That'll increase fragging power by like 100%.
Just the saxophone on the side of your gun.
Yeah,
With
that'd be
notes
kind of
coming out.
sexy.
That'd be pretty
That'd
cool. That would be
that'd
pretty
be-
awesome. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do because I'm pretty sure if I were to have a charm in the game, it'd be issuing with copyright stuff. Because Naruto,
Oh, do like a ginger hair.
I guess.
You could do that, like with the glasses, like kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else. I mean, your entire name is literally copyright, isn't it?
Yeah.
Technically.
Navozo has been practically non-existent in this matchup. Exile has been non-existent in this map so far. He was popping off on Oregon from what we saw. He was leading the team in frags. But Renascence have just been getting torn apart by everyone on Renascence outside of Nebula, who obviously, I mean, you know, he's on Thermite. His job isn't to frag, and I'm going to give him some slack for that. But, you know, Renascence have really turned things around here on their attack. Hopefully for their defense, they get into a better groove. From what I noticed, their defenses last map were just not really all there. They only won 2 out of the 6 defenses that they had, and then their attacks were just abysmal. Moving into this map, however, Renascence look a lot more comfortable, and they also just seem to be more on the same page than anything. Exile is trying to fight against the drone hole, although I think even if you're trying to fight against the drone hole there, you can still die and not see whoever's repelling there, if I'm not mistaken. But Kojin's still just going to keep trying to bandit trick into Nebula, who seemingly lost that HP from the electricity. Flashman's going to get tossed in to try to stun out the bandit, but it's not going to do any kind of work here. As Nebula will start to go in for the breach, Smithers will be able to stop that from happening. So one thing again here from Renascence, there's no one on the window. So now Kojin's going to rotate down and try to play with the C4, but you got to worry about Senpai, who's already expecting this rotate to come in from Kojin, but for Kojin's sake, he's moved into the toilets here, and he can rotate over towards the pool table and just completely skip by Senpai.
Very aggressive stuff here by Kojin, and I mean, honestly, the fact that they're not able to catch him out every time they open up this wall could really be their undoing. You have a C4 underneath now, and if Senpai doesn't properly drone this out or get properly droned out, this could be bad. He'll rotate out of bathroom, but the Ash has not noted this. Now pushing into bar. He's not looking at Kojin's angle. He is now. Oh, they're just locking heads right now, and Senpai will be the one to walk away with that kill. That was a bit of an interesting one there, and Smithers is going to take down Exile as well. The frags are all going in the way of Renascence. This is a way better Renascence than what we've been seeing before. The Mute's just going to run by Jig's screen. Jig has not been missing his nades, but unfortunately he'll miss the shot onto Navozo, and Bone will recover the round. It's going to be all equal now as Dunny falls too. 3 versus 3 in control. Looking to try and retake control. Navozo takes down his second. You said he was irrelevant, but now he's starting to show up. Wow, Senpai, you can't miss those. It's going to be a 1 versus 2 as Nebula's all alone with 25 HP and a dream. Shotgun sitting close to Navozo. Or sorry, Navozo sitting rather with a shotgun close to that rotate there. Nebula, his options are very limited. It's completely cut off. You have somebody sitting inside a gym, and you have a shotgun sitting inside a bathroom. Uzu, this is just not looking good here for Renascence. It seems like we're going to have a tied off half with only 18 seconds left. Navozo's dropped to the floor and dead.
Oh.
He's dead. Nebula just needs one more frag. Oh, so close to Bone's head, but can't do it. InControl are going to take the round, albeit a very, very close one towards the end. And it's going to be all tied up here for Renascence and InControl. A half that we weren't expecting, to be honest. Renascence were looking very weak. It seemed like InControl kind of had it since the start, but maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, they definitely look to be a lot more alive here on their attacks, picking up more rounds this map than they had last map total. They look to be more solid. They look to be more in line with each other. But now it's going to be InControl's turn to go on the offensive here while we switch sides. And now it's going to be Renascence moving over to the defensive. Castle's going to get 6 pick here just to bait out, seeing if they are going to go upstairs inside the gym bedroom. I don't know what Jig is thinking of switching to. He hasn't picked yet. Instead, he's going to pick over into a Mozzie. So you're only bringing 1 C4 for a basement defense. Most likely 2 sets of impacts with the Vigil and the Lesion from what it looks to be. Jaeger's going to be the only one with barbed wire, and then Smoke. Obviously, there's no point in not bringing a shield, especially if you're going to be defending dirt. So my expectations here from Renaissance is either A, they're going to impact trick the kitchen hatch and keep the vigil down below on site, or B, which is more probable now that I'm thinking about it, in this case with both Mozzie and Legion and Vigil, actually all three, Mozzie, Legion, and Vigil, that they're going to go for some kind of solo / duo roam, maybe with Jig and Dunny on the roam together, since they've been some pretty impactful fraggers here. Smithers might be on that roam as well too. I'm not so sure. Maybe you put Smithers and Jig on a duo roam, since they've been shooting lights out here on Clubhouse together. So for InControl's sake, it's honestly just been the trio of Yusuke, Kojin, and Bone. More so Bone really getting a lot of these crucial picks. Navozo's starting to get a little bit more into the game here. Meanwhile, Exile, he's just chilling in Purgatory. He's going nowhere in this matchup.
He said demon time. I mean, who knows?
I mean, yeah, demon time could be activated for him here on attack. Maybe he just needs the L85 in hand to shoot back. But no, I'm just messing with him. He's been playing Castle a lot. It's one of the harder guns to get frags with. So, hard knock life for Exile here on Clubhouse, at least on his defense half.
Unfortunately, so Bone, oh my goodness, he's in dirt and he'll take down Senpai. Senpai has just not been having the best of days, I will say. He is getting caught out quite a bit here. He's been opening death so many times, and Nebula's gonna have to shift his gun towards dirt because it seems like that's an immediate threat. Kojin and Bone both playing there for a possible push. This could be really good here. Smithers also pressured inside of blue. The very interesting angle looking into blue. This could be his undoing, as obviously you've now made one of the more safer parts of Church very unsafe. Kojin, half of his HP lost to that Pokeball, as Exile now starting to push down into blue, but they're being held off right now. But lots and lots of progress has been made by InControl. It's a question of what can they turn this into, as see Bone and Kojin, they're just peeking one door. Yusuke is going to drop down into blue. A very risky play indeed. Dunny knows that there's an immediate threat inside of dirt, not able to challenge it, as Yusuke going to get into AK and also, I guess, into Dummy rather. As Navozo starting to play inside of Dummy. How are they letting him through? Dunny's able to break through this shield, but Yusuke is going to take down Dunny. And this has just been the weirdest execute that I've seen by far. Yusuke gonna start the plant here. He's being covered though. If Nebula wants to cross, he might be at risk of death, as the plant will go down with two players inside of dirt, and Exile inside of blue will take down Jig, and it's a 2 versus 4. Somehow, some way, this attack has worked out, and the post plant is had. The retake is looking extremely unsuccessful, as Smithers is all alone. He'll take down Exile inside of blue. 27 seconds remaining, but InControl will just storm their way into the site, as Yusuke has gone absolutely insane, and InControl will take control as they get the lead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Nebula there for the most part of the series, he's looked scared to death. He's just scared to look at people, and he's shook. There's no such thing as halfway crooks, but man, Nebula, it's just been tough for him. I don't know if he's new to PC, or if he's just like, maybe the arthritis is kicking in.
The arthritis?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Something's
Chris,
happening.
you're old. You know about that.
I'm old. I wouldn't know about that. Yeah, my joints are all stiff from the weather changes lately. But I mean,
I haven't been outside since quarantine, so I can't relate.
Yeah. So far, Renaissance, they've looked better in this matchup. And SCS does have cloning matches, if you didn't know. That's how InControl is able to play here and in RSA at the same time.
I know, it's crazy.
That's what they're funding. It is, at this point in time, there's a 4-3 lead for InControl on Villa. And InControl currently is on the attack. They had a 3-3 split moving into round number 8. They won. So PogChamp is currently up in the series 1-0. I don't know what the other map was, but yeah, that's going on for
similar.
RSA. Yeah, it's looking very similar to InControl.
Yeah, except Renaissance don't have a map.
Yeah, it's InControl that's got the map.
Yeah. I mean, I guess better or for worse. InControl are winning on 2 fronts right now, except for maps. They are currently 1-0 on RSA. I guess 0-1. SCS, they're not. We're casting SCS though. And right now, they look like they are in the lead, at least past them. By the way, we actually don't know the result of this. Like I have no idea what actually happened. This is all past. This is like World War III or whatever, and we're going through this like a history book. But I actually don't know what happened, so I'm gonna fail the test because I didn't study.
Yeah, World War III almost ensued at the beginning of this year. For those of you who might have not known, that was horrible.
what a year it's been.
What a year
What
it
a
has
roller
been,
coaster.
man. We got back from SI and then we're just forced to stay home. It's like, why?
Man, SI was so good. I'm missing the times.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I went to that event.
That was great. It was a great event. In the meanwhile, though, CC Wall has been completely opened up right now. So Renascence are not in a very good position. Nebula, he's got the same head hold, but actually in control. What?
Exile Woke. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no. That's not the way you want to start this. But
I love Michael. He's a good kid.
Is it Michael? All right.
Yeah,
all right, Michael. Let's go, Michael. He's not in this chat because his other clone is busy playing another game.
Yeah.
So he can't hear us. But in the meanwhile, this execute looks like it is starting to unfold. InControl have looked like a very quick-paced team, and last round that really just came to fruition. Also last map, and it's looking like it's going to be the same thing here as Jig looking to get a little bit aggressive. So no garage control for InControl. That's one thing that they're also going to have to bear in mind, is that there's so many angles working against them if they want to go for some sort of execute, but I think they've got that covered as they're trying to challenge here. But Exile going to lose a lot of HP from a swing from Nebula. The minute mark will hit, and so far InControl starting to slow down, but Yusuke, he's been the linchpin of this entire game. He's starting to pressure the Legion here inside of Raptors. All he needs to find is a head, but he's stuck on R2. He'll swing and take down Exile, even if he gets traded out here. And Jig, my goodness, Jig, beautiful nades from him, but Bone will take him down regardless. It's a 3. Oh, sorry, that isn't Jig's nades.
Yeah,
I'm so used to Jig being the nader. Jig has been awesome on nades, though, to be fair. He's been really good.
It's like an after image of BC in a sense.
And this BC, man, I miss him playing. Senpai now down, or taking one down. It's 3 versus 2, and InControl, not exactly. They've gotten garage, but not exactly getting what they want. As Kojin trying to swing here onto red. It's going to come down to gunfights with 10 seconds left here, and they're going to have to ramp up their attack. C4 pop. This could be the decider. Kojin going to push up. Senpai C4 lands, and it's a 2 versus 1. Time is ticking. Kojin has 1 HP. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, for all the InControl fans, as it's going to be equal once again. Clubhouse looking so much closer than what we saw on Oregon, but I hope I didn't just jinx the past players, as Renascence gonna equal things out here 4-4.
Wow, what a round. What I was expecting some like full on aggressive play just for InControl to just storm the server and just take control of the bomb site, but unfortunately that didn't happen for InControl. Everything their attack fell apart mostly just because they kind of stalled out, and it's big in part to Yusuke, in my opinion. A lot of the blame falls on him because he just missed every single shot onto Nebula, who was a free pick like 2 of the times that he peaked, of like the 5 times that he peaked him, and he just didn't pull the trigger quick enough and just wasn't able to find the tan helmet of that Legion. But fortunately for Renascence and for Renascence fans, your team is currently tied with InControl now 4-4. They've now won, I believe, that's their first defense one here inside of Clubhouse. Yeah, it is their first defense one. So Renascence are looking a lot better here, I will have to say. It's also due to, in part, of both Exo and Navozo just completely getting shut out here. Everything's been falling on Kojin, Yusuke, and Bone. Meanwhile, on the Renascence side of things, Nebula has started to pick things up a little bit more. Senpai, Smithers, and Jig have been really well. Dunny's kind of cooled off a little bit this map, but he's still putting in some pretty decent numbers. He's going 5 and 6 on this map with some assists as well. His main job right now in this round, in my opinion, since he's on the Vigil, from what I noticed, the way they were using him last round, or the last time they went to the basement, it was going to be on a just a basement defense, like a turtle defense. But with Bone repelling over on Chainmail, he'll get an easy early pick onto Dunny. So those impacts are going to be rendered useless. The Jaeger is going to be all by himself, sitting inside a bar, and his only option to rotate is possibly to stock and maybe go down that way, but he's choosing to back up over towards the pool table. And with Bone keeping control in Chainmail, he has really no options other than to just rotate through bar and maybe try to go with the garage and rotate up that way if he wants to go down into master. I don't know what Smithers' plan is going to be for the rest of this round. Maybe he's going to try to keep control of bar throughout the remainder of the round, see what he can do, and play for his life. Exile, however, another death for him. You know, another day, another dollar, and a down's actually going to come out to Kojin here from Smithers. So no droning game coming out whatsoever. But finally, the Jaeger will get compromised and shut down here by Yusuke. And with Kojin down, he's not going to be confirmed and claimed by the defending squad of Renascence.
Not just yet, at least. And I think he should be safe to res. And you've gotten one player, I guess, down to low HP as well as Exile dead. So can't call it an even trade, unfortunately. Renascence are going to start to get pushed on with this low amount of players. And we've seen how InControl are just super hyper aggressive. They just get themselves in whenever they can. And to be fair, it has been working out. Yusuke playing bottom main. If Chris wants me to say it, I'll say it. He's deep into bottom main, as the rest of InControl just sit on the kitchen hatch. So they're gathering a lot of intel, but unfortunately they're also losing bodies. Nebula finds a second kill here, and we talk about how Nebula, I mean, he's just in so many weird positions where he could be a free pick, and a lot of opportunities are being lost right now by InControl to find this frag, and they're instead just forfeiting.
Oh!
Nice shot there, however, by Navozo. Beautiful angle from him, and he'll also take down that Legion. Plant's starting to go down here. Jig flashed out. Senpai rendered useless as he's a corpse on the ground, and Bone's going to drop amidst the flash. Diffuser will go down. It's all up to Jig in a 1 versus 3. Yusuke has him cornered inside of Moto. And also, if he wants to make a move inside of Church, he's got angles working against him as well. SMG-11 in hand. What can he do as he slithers his way in through Church? Another player going to run into blue. Everything is working against him right now, and all of it will come into fruition as InControl take round number 9. It's going to be 4-5, and they're trading leads right now. But InControl, they need to end this right now if they can, because this has been an extremely close game. And Renascence, if they get that comeback going, who knows what can stop them?
I don't know. It's looking very probable here for Renaissance right now. That last round really wasn't what we've seen throughout the most part for Renaissance here. A lot of the rounds that they've had have been pretty close. So far in this matchup, InControl have kind of slowed down a little bit with their aggression, and they're kind of unsure of themselves when they want to go with their executes, and then it's kind of costing them in the long run, at least from what I've noticed here. Another bomb site for the defending squad of Renaissance will be heading back downstairs into the basement. This will be the third time that they're going to go down into this bomb site, and they've only won it once, which is the first time that we saw. They just lost it a second time. Now this is their third attempt, and a large part of it was Dunny getting picked off, and then Smithers as well. They had no roam plan, and obviously Smithers was just trying to fight for his life. Yes, he got the down into Kojin, but it wasn't able to secure anything for his team. It was very impactless for the damage that he did. And then on top of that, I just think that he shouldn't have rotated into main. I don't think he knew that there was anyone playing chainmail, and even if he does, it's such a hard shot to hit, because you're looking through chainmail. And then with the way that the game is, when it renders, or just like the way the player model is, it's just blending in within the chainmail there. And then the shots ricochet and they get eaten up by the fence. It's just so tough to hit that shot.
It's a very good cutoff angle for attackers, and sometimes it can define a round, and that's why a lot of times you don't really see easy flanks coming on out. Usually it's established roamers that are basically already upstairs that usually end up getting sort of those catalyst plays that can transition around into a defender-sided round. But it can hurt sometimes. It can really hurt with that flank watch. It's a very excellent angle, like you said. InControl, we saw this last time where they just aggressively pushed into dirt, and you could see Kojin says hold this, and he's going to go pushing for that smoke. However, this time he's got a deployable shield. First gas grenade going to be popped, taking a little bit of damage away from Kojin, but I mean, this is a good way to waste utility. If you just keep on pushing into dirt and making the smoke a little bit nervous, you could get the toxic babes out of him. He's got a shield to play as well, though, so it could come down to a time game. Jig hears the pin pulled from the nade and immediately rotates on out. I believe that is a second gas grenade, unless that is definitely a second gas grenade coming on out here from the smoke. As Senpai going to be pushed out here by concussions and by explosions. He'll lose half of his HP to Zophia's impact as well as his shield. So Now it seems like he is going to be playing for his life. Completely droned out here. Will Kojin be able to catch him out on a rotate? Yes, he will. Senpai will be the opening death here for Renascence, and InControl starting to get themselves into dirt. A play that they made last time, and there's no call. Smithers just completely blindsided, and he'll get taken down by the Thermite. Certainly there was a call as Kojin goes nuts. He'll take down his third kill and try and get himself inside. Impact grenade gonna take Bone down to little HP. Novozo gonna take down Nebula and up above. Smithers or Dunny's the only one remaining. He'll take down Yusuke, but that's all he's gonna get, I believe, as a plant is not happening in dummies, so the impacts will be rendered useless. Dunny's on 1 HP and the diffuser will go down. It's all to him to retake here, or otherwise InControl will be in a match point, and that's just the outcome that's looking like. Call me Doctor Strange, but I'm pretty sure out of the 1 in 16 million chances that Dunny has, only one outcome sees him winning this round, and unfortunately, he's not even going to go for it. It's going to be InControl to take match point.
Yeah, this is kind of like the fight in the point where they're fighting on Titan, and everything is just going wrong for the Avengers. Like, they're about to, win, and then this is the part where Chris Pratt or Star-Lord, he just completely messes everything up, and this is that round right there. Everything's falling apart for them. There's nothing that they can do.
This is just wraps. Pretty soon he's gonna get the final Infinity Stone.
They're trying to kill each other. They're trying to team kill each other. But the Bozo's just too good. It's too quick. Oh my god. Pain and agony.
So Renascence, I mean, they're starting to run low on options here. Defense is just not going for them, and I'm not sure what to do. I'm not really sure what to do if I were Renascence. They have 2 more rounds to go, and it's looking like they're going to get a little bit desperate as they're whipping out a clash, and they're going to gym bedroom. Jig said, turn to page 17 of the gym bedroom chat. We're going to rock and roll. Let's see if this ends up working out.
You got to go to page 54, section A, letter B, subdivision C.
Subdivision C.
Swapping out the clash for the alibi, which is a pretty decent trade-off for Smoke, in my opinion. Just the fact of how her decoys work. If you place them in the right positions, it not only gives intel on you when they get shot at, but it's just also just an annoyance to deal with. So far here for Renascence, there's just been nothing really that's shown me some hope for them, at least in these past couple rounds. That last round, just they got smoked, absolutely dumpstered. Exile here, he's 1-6-9. It's okay, your team's on top here by 2 rounds. You're just getting a participation trophy for this map. At least he was doing great in the previous map. Novozo's been pretty lackluster so far from what I've noticed here, given the fact that he had a 1.5 rating heading into this matchup. So obviously this game's going to hurt those stats quite a bit. It's mostly just been Yusuke, Kojin, and Bone that have just been ridiculously just tearing apart Renascence here. And on the Renascence side of things, Nebula has kind of stepped up his game, or her game. I'm not so sure that that's them. Senpai, they're putting up average numbers as well. Jake, he popped off on attack and has not been heard of since.
His nades are crazy. I mean, honestly,
they are crazy. Really nice nades.
Smithers is gonna be a rat about this one. He's got a bullet hole looking. Oh, looks like his panels are gonna get shot out here. InControl, firmly in control right now as they look to possibly take this final round. Oh my god, Exile! The timing couldn't have been worse for Jig. His pick isn't gonna go his way. His head is gonna get ripped off. Wow, that is not the way you want to start a round here, especially the possible final round. Jeez, oh my! It's gonna be Renascence on InControl on the upper hand now as they look to try and get open the jacuzzi wall. Nade gonna soar by, and they'll finally get that opened up with little to no resistance. So good stuff from them. Let's see what Renascence can make out of this one, as obviously their attacks very split up. They have players sitting inside of CC and inside of Cash, and we know that InControl are very good at taking advantage of little things like that, and that could really come to benefit InControl if they just split up the Renascence defenders and just get free picks. Dunny is stuck right now inside of Jim. He's only got 17 bullets as well, so He's basically trapped. Yusuke, however, as I'm speaking about how InControl could win the round, Yusuke's down. Great shot there from Senpai, getting a much-needed kill to alleviate some pressure, but when's the time to rotate is a question. C4 ripped, not going to find anything. Smithers goes down here by Kojin. It's all down to 3, down to 2, as Senpai finds a second kill. Exile takes down Dunny, and the site is completely in the hands of InControl unless Senpai has something to say about it. Nebula going to be able to rotate into construction, but Kojin in a position to get the plant down. Exile going to sneak his way through and get 2 kills, and InControl will end the game there. Beautiful stuff from them, and that is going to be wraps for their SCS run here, 2-0, and they have basically just solidified themselves as a possible playoff contender with such an important game under their belt. Renascence, just not enough from them, and they're going to walk away with this one, just not too much under their belt right now. This has not been looking good for them.
Yeah, they got double the amount of rounds that they had on Oregon. Very impressive from InControl here. Pretty much whoever voted InControl, it was a bit of a no-brainer. Although, Renascence did show some signs of life there on Clubhouse. Oregon was just an absolute dumpster fire for Renaissance. Outside of Smithers and Dunny, just no one really assisting them. No one's really giving them any kind of help. It's just it's a tough break for Renascence right now. At least they're not in last place for the time being. I don't think they'll be moving down to last place. That's going to be with First Attempt right now, who I actually have some pretty good friends on First Attempt, so I'm a bit surprised that First Attempt is all the way down in the bottom of this league right now. I was expecting them to have some better numbers, but so far here, from what I noticed with InControl, they're a very solid unit. They're very well put together. Everything about them just looks very well done, and I'm expecting some better things to come from them throughout the rest of this league.
Yeah, guys, I have to 100% agree with you there. I mean, InControl so far all season, and even in the qualifier there, it took me a second to find the right word, but yeah, the qualifiers in the season so far, they've just been dominant. They haven't really dropped many rounds, only dropped maybe 1 map, I believe, during the qualifiers themselves. I can't really remember that far back nowadays, but in any case, we do have a representative from InControl who's here live in the flesh. It is no longer a pre-recording. This is Dash from InControl, ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and unmute him, but welcome to the casting booth, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
you better have a good. You better have some good answers, boy, because you've had like 3 days to prepare for this interview. So let's rock and roll, baby. You had an excellent game so far. I know whatever's happening in RSA is happening in RSA. We're here in SCS. Good stuff. You guys look like a very hyper-aggressive team, and sometimes that can be a really big gamble. But against Renaissance, you guys were crazy. So good stuff from you guys. What was the mentality kind of going into this? Because obviously this is a team that isn't looking so good in the league right now. So might be a little bit of confidence. Like, talk me through it.
So yeah, we're going into this match, we kind of knew what to expect from Renaissance, their play style, their play style, just kind of how they function as a team, and it was really just a lot of aggression, default kind of stuff. So we felt pretty good coming into this match, knowing how we play, how we're able to adapt and counter. And of course, like I said, doing that research really just, allowed us to prepare a lot better, and kind of just, there weren't many surprises.
I mean, excellent stuff from you guys. It's been a really pleasurable game. You guys did absolutely crazy. So good stuff. I really liked it.
Thanks.
Yeah. With the recent additions of not Yusuke,
Exile and Navozo.
Exile and Navozo, yeah. They came from Homeland, am I not mistaken?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so coming into with the situation with God leaving the team, I can't remember the other player that left or got dropped, whichever the story was. What were your prospects heading into picking up those 2 players, and what were your thoughts about them coming into the team?
So everybody who is on Inc before, we were really good friends with all the guys on Homeland, especially Exile, and also Navozo. So we knew that they were very talented players, and when Homeland disbanded, we were kind of just looking in their direction. We were looking at ourselves as a team, and we were looking at the possibilities that were available to us, and just knowing how they play, and their potential we figured that it was worth a shot to give them at least a tryout. And it just really seemed to click with them on the team. And it, yeah, kind of just went from there. We started practicing, and it was all just pretty smooth sailing.
It's been awesome to watch so far, for sure, for you guys. I mean, it's really entertaining anytime you guys play, because if you're up against one of those top teams in SCS right now, it can be just a complete guns out battle. And then I mean, you guys always put the style on, for sure. But I do have a question for you. So you said you did your research on Renascence. So what does that look like? You don't have to reveal your strats, you don't have to reveal your like full process, but what does it look like for you doing a VOD review? So like how does that work for the non-insider into R6?
Well, essentially, it's very important for me as a coach, and like just as a support staff to the team, to make it as easy for them. They just worry about playing, doing their best. So I feel it's my responsibility to just get them as prepared as possible. So we'll look over some old VODs. We'll kind of write some important things down. If it's something we feel like is necessary, we may come up with a few pocket strats if the situation arises. But yeah, it's essentially, I feel it's important. It's important for me to do everything that I can to ensure that the team can play to the best of their ability, with whether that be information on the other team, information on themselves, how they're playing. So yeah, it's really just I try my best to make it as easy as possible for them.
Awesome. Jazz, Uzu, anybody got any more pressing questions?
I don't have any.
Yeah, I think we should let. I think he has a game right now. I think we should probably let him go. So I mean, good luck on your game. Thank you so much for stopping by for this interview. It's a pleasure talking to a coach who probably knows a lot more than I do. So I'm glad to have you on board. Good luck in RSA, because you guys are currently competing, and best of luck to the rest of the league.
Thank you.
Take care.
Well, awesome, guys. We just watched a really fun game there from InControl and from Renascence. And we have one more going on for week number 3 for you guys. And Jazz and Uzu are unfortunately not going to be along for the ride on that one. But I thank you for your valiant service on series number 1 tonight, for sure. But in any case, guys, anything you guys want to say before we hop on over to our analyst desk and talk to Putin and Smid a little bit about what we just saw?
It was a pleasure to cast with you again, Chris. It's been a long time coming. I'm excited for you. I'm glad what you're doing in CL. Thank you, Sako, for taking me through stuff, because it's been a while since I've done this, so having you kind of in the middle has just been helping me so much. Thank you to SCS for giving me a chance. It's been fun so far. I don't know what's going to happen, but I've just been enjoying my time. And I hope you guys enjoy the next game with, I believe, Chief and Sticula, who are both very, very talented casters. So good luck to them. Chris, any leadoffs for you?
No. Once again, thanks for having us. Thanks for getting me and Jasmine in. It was a pleasure to cast with Jasmine. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do it again sometime next week.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what, guys. I know for sure that we've all really enjoyed it here, and everybody in the chat as well was going nuts when they were seeing you guys casting. That's for sure. So, in any case, we might be seeing you guys back a little bit more here in SCS. We'll have to talk about that for sure. But I'm definitely excited to see where everything goes. So, with that being said, guys, thank you again for everything tonight. You guys go enjoy your time. Go get some food. Go get some water. All that fun stuff. But Putin and Smit, it is your time. I'm summoning you from the depths of the analyst desk. Come on in. Let's go.
One thing I want to say about Smith is that his afro rivals Thinking Nades.
Yo, there it is. Speak of the devil. Hey, Smith, give us the afro cam real quick. Oh my god, he's going insane. All right, but I'll tell you what, I think it's the afro is there to hide a little bit of the big brain that is underneath it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are just absolutely god tier at analyzing. Same with Putin too, but I just had to make the appropriate joke there.
Actually, my afro is my brain.
Oh, okay. So
it's just pouring out.
Oh, shoot. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It happens. What can I do? I was born with an defect like this, so I mean,
so you just
over
like
time you just get used to it.
Almost. You're on a whole nother plane of existence almost. Like,
I'm not sitting on a chair right now. I'm actually floating.
So you're saying you're like Al, you don't have legs.
No.
So when you pick your afro, you're just actually fluffing your brain then, right? It's like for thinking.
I don't touch my hair.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No. It's purely like this. I don't pick my afro at all.
Dang. All right.
Interesting. Well, let's get back into this.
Yeah, that was the biggest tangent in the world, but it was
I,
funny.
w-
that's
I
for
was
sure.
like gonna like find like a little segue, be like, oh, speaking of hair, I'd be like, oh, look at this hairy sit. No, I don't want to be cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like a 7-5 game, you could say like, oh, they almost won this by a hair, but
Hey,
it just doesn't
okay.
work. It just doesn't work right now.
Truth.
I'm cringing at that one. I mean, it was funny as you know what, but yeah, okay.
You can't say it because Renaissance just got absolutely smacked.
I mean, they did. They put up a little bit of a better fight on Clubhouse. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was a valiant effort on that map. 7-4 is respectable, but yeah, the 7-2 on Oregon, especially like when you get 4-2'd on your defensive split on Oregon. But that was a pass map. Let's talk Clubhouse. What do you guys think?
So
Go.
go for it.
You got it. You got it. No.
All
I
right,
took
all
it,
right.
You got it.
All right. I appreciate you, Smith. You are doing a great job.
Mwah. Go ahead.
All right, let's get into this. So, one thing that I like to point out is this back and forth battle that kept happening between these two teams. It is definitely a change that we did not see on the first map that I love to see on Clubhouse.
I mean, there's a reason for that. You know, Renaissance was playing a little bit better as one of you guys said earlier, and in control they weren't playing like their usual selves in some of those rounds. Luckily they got over that little bump towards the second half, but you know they did better. There was just like these things where important operators were just getting picked off, like Maestro and Legion, and Maestro getting picked off right here. I don't know what happened because he just got picked off from stock, and the Maestro was on site, so he wasn't doing anything wrong. He just got crapped on, you know. Um, I mean, there's no other way to say it. And they Renaissance just won because they had the man advantage. You know, you can see right here, 4-3. They were able to just take the map control they needed. Rafters, garage control. They had the breach open. They were able to execute on site and ultimately won. You know.
Yeah. The round that I chose for us to look at was round 2. Round 2 was the master round where Bones, he had an outstanding round. He was able to bring it to a 1v1 situation and really put it in their favor. But the reason why I chose that round primarily is the smart plays that were brought forth. So one thing that I want to show is, so in SCS currently, Master has a 43.4% win rate and a 56.6% loss rate. So that right there shows that this is going to be more of an attacker-sided site, which we saw. We saw that the one thing that I want to point out too is if we look at on this side, the Ace and the Sledge originally were on this side of the map. However, they didn't even take CC or Cash. Ace literally just watched the angle so that they couldn't play on the window. Sledge rotated to play on windows, cut off all the crosses. Ash soon went up the master stairs, held the cross onto the castle, who was forced to then rotate over by master bed, and then this mute is trapped. We then see this Zofia who goes through the breach, kills the mute, takes control of bathroom. Oh my lord, what did I just do?
Everything is gone, dude.
Oh yeah, but
Oh,
Thanos snap, bam, just like that, it's
again.
gone.
This
But
must be the work of In Control.
yeah, we're revealing their strats.
Oh my god.
So we saw the Zofia get control of bathroom. Thermite goes in for a plant. I originally thought this castle positioned right here killed the Thermite, but it was actually this Goyo. So this castle never got an opportunity to really shine this round because he instantly got killed by the Zofia, who then went on a rampage through here, and they just got immediate site control. But the really nice thing to see is as soon as the Ash took control of this, killed this Legion rotating, the Jaeger then soon refragged the Ash, refragged the, oh frick, who's the last person? I can't remember who the last attacker was that he killed to put him in a 1v1 situation on the Sophia. But it was definitely a very intense round that was played very smartly and off refrags, which I feel carried a lot of the momentum for the remainder of the map.
I think it was that Thermite. He came around the corner and absolutely domed him. Is that right?
The Thermite was the one who rotated into Jim, who got domed by the Goyo.
Okay,
So-
okay, never mind that. Never mind. I'm just being an idiot right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. You are 100% correct. No, I no.
I mean, all that needed to happen
Shame.
during that round was just the fact that the defense needed to rotate towards the actual push. There was 3 of the defenders over there in construction and in cash room. Like, it's fine. You don't have to leave cash room completely unguarded. You don't even have to leave construction unguarded, but at least send one person to help out the people that are on site.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Like that's where it all fell down because the people never really rotated. They just stayed in their positions. The Ash was able to rotate up the main. If they had somebody positioned on the main stairs, they win that defensive round. Because this Ash is the one who had the pivotal play to cut off all rotates between logistics and to master. So it literally just left 2 people in sight. It was very smart plays from them.
I mean, no doubt, no doubt.
Activating the bomb diffuser.
I mean, InControl just was big brain overall. You know, in this round, we didn't see them use so much of that brain per se. They made mistakes. It happens. It always happens. But in round 10, I just really just want to come in here and pick out just how big brain InControl is. They rushed into dirt. They had dirt control at 1 minute and 30 seconds by killing Smoke and made it into a 5v3 by killing the Jaeger, who didn't know they had dirt control or something. I don't know. He had his back turned to the dirt entrance and was able to make it a 5v3. The rest of the players were able to push down from blue and just get quick control of site. It was crazy. You know, Vigil had to save his KD, I guess. You know, he wasn't trying to play off heroics. I'm not a fan of that sort of thing. Always want to see people always trying to make it work with what they got. You know, you always want to do that.
Oh yeah. I don't have that round set up on my blackboard, which is completely fine, but we can still talk about it. More going on to the Church like you're talking about. So Church has a 52.2% win rate for defense, and the attackers have a 47.8% chance to win it. So that right there, it's pretty 50-50. Like, but more onto what you're talking about. They definitely had a very smart play of taking over this, and more onto the communication like you're talking about. I honestly have seen that quite a bit in this matchup of miscommunication. It's like what we saw, what was it, round 3, where Zofia took stock, she had a drone in front of her. Jaeger was playing inside of heaven, so top blue, but he shoots the drone. Zofia stays oblivious to blue and gets killed. It's those minor things that we're seeing in this matchup that hopefully they work on.
Yeah, that's the hard part about T3, I feel like, is a lot of these rosters, like we talked about it so much over the course of these past 2 weeks, but a lot of rosters just continually shift, right? So when you start getting that chemistry with your current roster, then all of a sudden 1 or 2 people get dropped or leave or whatever happens. And then you're getting 2 new people in, which completely mixes up the chemistry. The comms are a little bit off. No one really knows each other anymore, even though you're still teammates with 3 other people. It's kind of weird. So it's inherent to have a little bit of miscommunication, which is just unfortunate. Sometimes that can lead to some of those rounds like you guys are talking about, for sure, at least in my opinion. You know, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to prove me wrong. You are the analysts after all, but having played competitive for a while, if you have a new player, it can be so hard getting used to that sometimes, and it's not fun to have to deal with that every once in a while.
No, it's so true. It's like when you get new players, typically when you're on a team, you have specific callouts for specific things for the team that you're on.
Mhm.
And so when you get a new player, sometimes they don't know that. And so when you're used to something being called a specific thing and the new player doesn't call it, you're going to be lost.
Oh yeah. May has actually a moment of frustration with me one time, like when him and I used to be on a competitive team way back when. He gave a call out. I was being small brained, and I died to the same guy that he had just called out. And I'm like, "You didn't call him out." He's like, "Yes, I said cocktail." But it was the most basic call out that I could have. That I don't even know how to describe it. That's why I'm a caster, and that's why I'm a desk host now, is because I have absolutely zero competitive ability. So you know, I at least have my 1.0 KD, so I'm legally allowed to cast. But yeah, that's
I mean, exactly. You know,
Right.
And I just want to highlight the round we're showing right now is round 6, right?
Yep.
It started off with a 5v3 again, Bandit and Castle being gone first. And that's pretty bad, right? But those remaining defensive operators were able to make it into a 3v3 with Hibana and Sledge being dead. Now that's a huge pick because Hibana hard breach. Never want to lose that. Splushed with her freaking flash charges. Flash charges? Flashbangs. There we go. And the Sledge's nades being gone. Then it was down to a Nebula versus Bone kind of thing, where Nebula had nothing going for him. He was low on health. He was going to get a difficult angle from Jaeger just now, and he was Legion Mine. He was just downright stuck. And I really think that's what set off the momentum for INC, because originally it was a 3-2 with Renascence being up. And after that, it was just INC, Ren, INC, 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 INC all on the board, INC everywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's honestly, that was a momentum round. I couldn't.
Yeah, it was honestly just a phenomenal showing from them. They've been doing it week by week. I mean, they consistently keep picking up new players, or not new players anymore because they've had them for a couple weeks now. But they picked up the right teammates that they need. They're getting that chemistry like we were talking about, and it's really working out for them. So I'm excited to see exactly where they go from here. But it looks like we are just going to take a short bit of a break because we do have a little bit of time here in between our series. So that being said, Smit, Putin, thanks again. We'll see you guys definitely later on, and we'll be back in a moment with Lycus Empire versus Emergence.
Thank you, sweetie.
Whoa.